All right, we're live. This is MC and Mad Talk to Civil War, episode 9. We're going to go in a different direction. First off, MC is out fucking himself somewhere. He isn't on the stream yet. I'm hoping he will show up as soon as he sees we're live. But we're going to go a little bit different this weekend. I want to talk about Civil War movies and Civil War reenactments, stuff of that nature, how they, either portray the war in a good way or fail at it miserably. Right now we have Melissa and Gunslinger here. How are you guys doing?
I am doing well. Good. I'm just trying to kill time before my hate stream tonight. And here I am. I mean, it's been a while since I poked you in the chops, so.
Yeah, fair enough. I did see that your hate stream last week was about single mothers. I didn't even click on it. I was just like, wow, okay.
No, that's this week. Like last week, I tried to do a test run to make sure everything operated right, and then like YouTube took a shit on me. I had 2 live streams running at the same time. I have no idea how that happened because I'm about as technologically, I'm about as technologically apt as libertarians are at border security.
Hey, you know what? We're not so good on borders, but we're good on the economics. All right, you win some, you lose some. Come on now.
but so this tonight at 8:00 Mountain Time, and that's 10:00 for Eastern Time for people that don't know how to do math. We're gonna do the hate stream on single mothers tonight. It's gonna be great.
So why do you hate single mothers? What's up with that?
Because they're worthless and they're fucking vampires on society and they produce fucking shitheads. And I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
Are they Yankees? In that case, then I'm with you. Like, I'll support you all the way.
Some are Yankees, but there's quite a few of them in the South, thanks to the single mother rate of the African-American community.
Well, yes, you could go down that route. But didn't society kind of push that upon them? Didn't society say, hey, you'll get more welfare if you don't have a fucking father in the home?
Yeah.
That did happen.
The welfare empire. See, like, okay, you want to solve all the problems and create a libertarian super state? This is how you do it. You ready?
Yeah.
You ready? You ready? Get rid of universal suffrage. That's all you have to do.
Wait, so women don't get the right to vote?
No, I didn't say women. I said get rid of universal suffrage. Let's see, what it would be is a suffrage system based on meritocracy. So to get full citizenship means you have to have public service. So what does that mean? To put it shortly, it means you got to have skin in the game. So you got to be a business owner, a landowner, a property owner, a homeowner, be in the military, something like that.
So you're one of the people that say for your right to vote, you should serve in the military. Well, if you take that stance, then I wouldn't have the right to vote. And I am a property owner. I own my own house. It is a shitty trailer, but I do own it.
Okay, so you're a property owner. See, you fall under my purview. You understand what I'm saying? You fall under the voting purview that I want. You got to be a property owner. You got to be a business owner. Basically, you got to have skin in the game. So this way you don't have stupid and lazy people sitting around voting themselves free stuff. Which is largely
like
what
Bernie
women do.
supporters. Like the Bernie supporters. That's what you're talking about.
That's largely what women do. Like, women are not net taxpayers. Men are. And women sit around and vote for themselves free shit. They do it all the time. Where do you think like the modern family court came from and the modern divorce court came from? It all comes from women voting themselves free shit. That's basically all it is.
Well, no, you have a really good point. I'm one of the few men actually in the United States that gets paid child support instead of paying it. My ex actually, the tax money came through the other day. I actually got $1,000 randomly on my credit card, and I'm like, oh, this is nice. Considering I've had full custody since he was 6 months old and he's 13 now. Yeah, this is nice. I'm actually getting some money finally.
I mean, under my system, do you think the welfare empire and all these socialists would see the light of day No, they wouldn't, because people who have skin in the game aren't going to sit there to vote themselves free shit because they understand fundamentally that they have to pay for it.
So, in other words, that's how you want to take out the fucking SJW crowd, is say, you know what? If you don't own property or you haven't served in the military, go fuck yourself. Right?
Yeah.
That's a fair assessment. Gunslinger, what do you think about that?
I'd say it's a fair assessment. I mean, it's what 90% of 99% of the fucking time that women get custody of the children.
Yeah. And
I believe it's about 95%. I'm not the only man in the whole United States that has full custody of his child. You know, there's others. But I would say about 95% of the time, the women wins in court, and it's mostly the sympathy vote. Like why a woman doesn't get a fucking speeding ticket when she's doing 70 in a 55. My friend on Facebook, she fucking shared a picture. She's like, yeah, talked my way out of another ticket, and she's holding a fucking glass of Jack Daniels and fucking Coke. You talked your way out of another ticket. You showed some cleavage and you smiled at him. Good for you.
Not to shamelessly rip off Turd Flinging Monkey, but he nailed it on the head. If you look at the welfare empire as a means of helping poor people, it doesn't make sense. But if you look at the welfare empire as a means to buying votes, it makes perfect fucking sense.
Absolutely. I am a libertarian, but I have had to take welfare before, and it is an never-ending cycle of a downward fucking spiral. They keep you in that position. They give you what, $450 for one kid. Okay, $450. What's your rent? $560. You're already fucked. Okay, so they're not helping shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're hurting more than they're helping.
And like the 2% of women that can perform, right? And by that, and oh, by the way, when I say serve in the military, we're going to do away with the male-female standards. We're just going to have the male standard, and the women that can perform at the male standard, they could be in the military. Everyone else gets the fuck out.
Well, Melissa, this might be a little harsh, but what about don't ask, don't tell? Are you okay with that? What about transvestites in the military? Are you okay with that? And if you are, how is that going to help unit cohesion?
Okay, so meritocracy, that's what it's about. I mean, that's if you go with meritocracy, so can this person perform the job? If you go with meritocracy.
Okay, fair enough.
You're going to have a consistent. You're going to have a consistent
job, though. Are they performing their job, Melissa, if they're fucking with the unit cohesion? If they are the outsider, if they're not in the unit, then they're not really doing their job, are they?
Exactly. So if they're not able to perform the job, the duties, whatever, get the fuck out, right? And don't even go in, right? And this is why if you just go with meritocracy, you never end up with double standards. That's
fair. And I was being a little harsh, Melissa, but I do want to hear your actual response to those questions. You know, does being gay in the military fuck with unit cohesion? Does being trans in the military do the same? I mean, these are real questions that actually,
you know these are answers. I don't know, right? Like, I don't have this. I'm sure there's find me a study, and if a study shows that gays in the military hurts the fucking overall military purpose, then yeah, get rid of them. Same with trans women or trannies and fucking whoever else, right? I don't give a shit.
But you are a veteran. You did serve. You didn't fuck with the unit cohesion.
No, I didn't.
So there's that as well that you can fall back upon. I just wanted to ask a couple hard questions and see what your answers were. Like you said, we haven't talked in a while. You want to throw me a little gut punch? I'll throw one back.
No, it's fine. It's fine. And then here's the other thing. When they say trans, I don't want trans. Are we talking about non-binary dipshits, or are we talking about transsexuals? This is the part that really
I'm talking about Chelsea Manning. All right, specifically.
Yeah. So okay, so I mean, we're gonna assume Chelsea Manning is a transsexual, right? So that's the kind of person we're talking about. But I mean, if a guy just he doesn't play, he's gonna go, I'm non-binary, right? Oh, I'm non-binary. And he doesn't actually end up transitioning or doing anything but running around with a stupid title. I don't see why they couldn't be in the military as long as they could perform.
Yeah, but running around with a stupid title might fuck with unit cohesion because they're putting themselves as an outlier from the get-go. So how exactly are they going to be a part of the unit completely? You know what I mean?
Well, you were never in the military, and the military has this.
Fair enough. I wasn't. You're completely right.
I'm not trying to like piss in your face, right? But what I'm saying is, if you've been in the military, you know that the military has a very specific way of enforcing conformity. And the way they enforce that conformity is you either conform or you get kicked the fuck out or you get thrown in the brig. And that's basically all there is to it.
Yeah, you wash out a basic. You're done from the get-go if you're not really going to stick with the unit. I get that. But no, you're right. I'm not a veteran. I was never in the military. That is 100% true. But from the historian perspective and looking at it as an outsider, then I can kind of see things that you might not see because you were in the system. You know what I mean? So I still have.
Well, I'm not one of those assholes that think you got to be in the military to have an opinion on it. That's bullshit. I mean, it's the same reason I can have an opinion on abortion and baby killing without actually having a fucking uterus, right? Like, you can have an opinion on whatever the fuck you want.
No, that's awesome too. Is you even said baby killing, so I know you're on my side on that argument. But
yeah, abortion's an abomination of our age. That's all it is. But
well, isn't it the modern day eugenics? That's pretty much what it is. Oh, he has autism. Kill him.
Yeah,
I don't support abortion. I do, however, support retro-abortion. If you get to 22 and you're a fucking, cock gobbling dumbass, yeah, I think you should be taken out back.
That's why, that's exactly why Pinochet came up with helicopter rights. Brilliant man. You should read into him sometime.
That motherfucker. But no,
and I'm going to let you chat know that Pinochet did nothing wrong. Okay,
he didn't do none.
He didn't do nothing wrong. He threw a bunch of communists out of a helicopter. So fuck him.
Well, commies deserve that scenic view as they're falling from the helicopter. It's okay. They enjoy it. As long as everybody gets a trip, we got to be fair.
I mean, I don't care what kind of communist you are. White communist, a black communist, whatever. Doesn't matter to me. Helicopter ride. There you go. Me and Pinochet would have been homies back in the day.
I missed you, Melissa. Welcome back.
We would have been homies. We would have.
I just have one question and then I'm out. Wasn't this supposed to be the MADD and MC show?
Yeah, but we've taken over for a little bit.
Yeah, no, we're waiting on MC, and Voice of One actually had the idea of talking about Civil War movies and doing something a little bit different, and he's still not here either. So fuck off. They'll show up when they show up. If not, then we'll roll on.
And I see Cabbage is in the chat. I haven't talked to you in a while either, Cabbage. Why don't you come in here and call me a cunt or something? It's been a while. Yeah. I missed you.
You just missed being called a cunt by a cabbage. It's okay. We all love the cabbage.
It's debatable.
Well, it's like the devil's lettuce, either you're cool with it or you're not. But god damn it. All right, so there are some good movies that depict the Civil War, and they do it in a very good way. I like Gods and Generals. Yeah, I know Ted Turner is a piece of shit, but he did throw a lot of money at that movie, and he made sure that they were fucking down to the shoes, fucking legitimate on how the Civil War was. Have you seen Gods and Generals or Gettysburg? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I think the closest I've ever come to like a Civil War movie would be like Dances with Wolves.
He was a Yankee, though.
Well, he was, but he was. But it was a good movie, regardless. It's like one of what Kevin Costner hasn't made a lot of great movies, but that was one of them that he didn't make. It was a pretty good fucking movie.
You know what's funny about Kevin Costner is everybody hates The Postman. I think that's a good fucking movie. I really do.
It is.
Hey, go ahead, shame me right now. I'll do the shame walk.
I mean,
I swear,
I would have more to say if you like were praising Waterworld. That movie was fucking awful.
Oh yeah, fuck Waterworld, dude. Like,
that movie was cancer.
I'm sorry, what? I don't know.
If you haven't watched Waterworld, don't, and save yourself like 3 hours of movie.
I'm sorry that movie doesn't exist to me.
Yeah, it's good, because it's dumb.
That was 3 hours of my fucking life I will never get back.
Yeah. I watched it once, and I don't even think I made it all the way through the movie, and I said, this movie is fucking retarded. Like, the most entertaining part of that movie is when he pees into that machine and he starts pumping it, and it turns into water and he drinks it again. I was like, that's fucking legit.
But no, I've seen Gettysburg. It's pretty good.
Yeah, maybe I've seen Gettysburg and I just don't remember anything about it. But then again, I'm not Matt Dodge here and have an eternal hate boner for fucking the Civil War. Like, it's just not that important to me. I think Matt Dodge gets on here, and like we always have that bit where we talk about the Civil War, like on Matt Dodge's show, and I think it's just his way of being able to go, and he can have this conversation, and then after we're done, he gets off, and he beats his dick in wherever he's fucking at. He's just like, oh yeah, fucking Civil War.
He beats his dick to a picture of the Confederate flag.
Go fuck off. But that was funny. Damn it. No, I do enjoy the argument over the Civil War. I do. Do I beat myself off after the show? No, I don't.
You're a damn liar. You know you're over there going.
You're a goddamn liar.
You know you're over there going.
Hey, how about you take out your NSA spy cameras from my house, you bitch?
Hey, you know
Does that mean I have to take mine out too?
You know what? Blame Obama. I didn't do it.
Blame Obama, yeah.
But the Democrats got to blame Bush for 8 years, so I get to blame Obama for the next 8. That's how the trade-off works.
I blame Michelle, actually. Is that a he or a she? I can't even tell anymore.
Michelle Obama?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go with she's ostensibly female.
I swear I saw on Adam's apple. I'm just throwing it out there.
I don't. I understand. Libertarians, they like their conspiracy theories, and you guys got some really good ones, like really good ones. But
yeah, we're good at that.
But I'm gonna go with Michelle Obama is a female.
Well, you're just racist. Like,
of course, I'm a huge fucking racist. Yeah, and I am such a racist. I want to ban abortion so black babies can live and do their thing as they grow up in life.
But babies can live. Wait a minute. What?
How does that even work? To me, there's nothing more racist than supporting abortion, and this is all there is to it.
I actually agree, and to be serious here on that. If you look at the abortion rates, it is the African American community that is doing abortion far more than the white American community.
Yep.
And that's a fact. You can look at the numbers, and it is a eugenics program. And the woman that created Planned Parenthood was a fan of eugenics. She was a goddamn racist. So Yeah, you want to look at me because I'm anti-abortion and call me the bad guy. You're the one killing your own people. All right.
I mean, if I were like a thoroughbred racist, right? I would be for like free abortions. Like, oh, you want? I mean, yeah, some white babies will get mixed in there, but I mean, it's sometimes you got to give a little to get a little.
Well, no, yeah,
give a little to get a lot. And so, like, if I were a thoroughbred racist, I'd be like, you know what? We should allow state paid for, taxpayer paid for abortions, 100%.
Yeah, you got to break a couple of eggs to make an omelet. Absolutely. Yeah. And the thing is, when you look at the numbers and you really just sit back and look at them, it is the black community that is committing abortion far more than any other community. And if you look at what the creator of Planned Parenthood said, this was her plan. She won, guys. She won. And you praise her for it. You donate to her charity and you keep perpetuating it. And yeah, that's fucking sick, people. That's sick. And you want to tell me, where does life begin? You're alive to bitch about abortion, aren't you? What if you were aborted, you little fucking puke? Like,
I forget who said it, but there's a quote out there that all the like he was being facetious, and then people took him literally because dumb. But like the quote is like, all pro-lifers I've ever met were people that were already born, right? And I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Well, no, and it's like I get slammed and I get called a fucking popist or a religious fanatic. I'm a goddamn atheist. That's not what we're arguing about. We're arguing, is that a human being? And is it separate from your own body? The answer is yes and yes. And voice, fuck off, you Irish prick. How are you doing, buddy?
I thought this was the Civil War movie stream, but apparently I came in the wrong day.
Yeah. You entered to the abortion zone. Step this way, sir. Step into the oven.
By the way, MADD, start shilling your own shit, goddammit.
Okay, all right. I do have a BitChute. Check me out over there, bitchute.com /Mad Dodge Productions. I also have a Patreon and a Streamlabs. So hit me up there if you feel like donating. I am saving up for a new computer because I bought the RAM I thought I needed, and my computer damn near blew up in my face. So I'm back to square one, which means I'm saving up for a damn new computer. I'm done. I'm not going to fuck around with it anymore. I'm just going to buy a new fucking computer that'll do everything I want. So if you like the show and you want to donate, please do. If not, at least hit like and subscribe. Come on, people. That's free. All you have to do is just click a little button. Go for it. There, I'm done shilling my shit.
Thank you.
Yeah. And another thing that getting rid of universal suffrage will fix is it'll make patriarchy great again.
You hear that, guys?
Well, no. My question is, Melissa. My question is, why do you want patriarchy to be great again? You are transitioning from the patriarchy to the monarchy here. So why exactly do you want us to boss you around?
Hang on, Matt. Did you say she was transitioning from the patriarchy to the monarchy? When is she becoming monarchy?
Oh, dude. Fuck you.
The monarchy? I mean, I'm not a monarch. I'm a nationalist. I'm not a conservative. I'm a nationalist.
Okay, the question is, why do you want men to boss you around if you're becoming a woman? Wouldn't you want your own side to be superior?
I mean, well, if I wanted that, I'd be advocating a trapno state.
Like that will happen. Good luck.
So if for my side, we'd have the trapno state. No, but I mean, the jokes aside, right? The men have all the responsibility in our society, all of it. Like there's this what is it, Feminist Day, where the women don't show up for work. And when these days go down and enough women actually do it, like schools get shut down for a day. Do you have any idea the consequences if men just en masse didn't show up to work one day? Just one day. I mean, we would have like infrastructure would literally break down in the course of a day. Power generation or extraction. These are all things that are manned by men. And when I say manned by men, I mean like 99% of all these jobs are held by men. So men bear all the responsibility in our society. Now, what's responsibility without authority? Fuck all. It's slavery. It's exactly what we call it. And men are naturally authority figures. That's why men generally lead politics and corporations and any number of things. The military. I mean, how many female military leaders have there been in all of history?
Joan of Arc. She comes to mind immediately. But you have a goddamn point. But the thing is, though, Tiger Lily has a good question in the chat. She says, if she swallows, is that abortion? No, that's cannibalism.
No, that's called at a girl. Keep at it.
Yeah, exactly. You're doing the right thing.
You're doing God's work right there. I mean, it's okay. I swallow. It's fine.
God damn it. But no, that's a good point. I've heard that argument before. You know, you see the women with the fucking signs. Yeah, this swallowing equals cannibalism if abortion is murder. I don't necessarily buy into that. Because, okay, what is the point of life? When does it become? It becomes at conception, which means the sperm penetrates the egg, and then it starts to multiply cells and become a human being. It can have a different blood type than the mother. It is definitely not the same being as the mother.
You're doing it wrong. When they ask you that question, just turn it back around on them. And any little qualifier that they use can be used to justify other people. So, like, for example, a common one is sentience. Like, they'll be like, oh, it's that sentience. So okay, we'll go with sentience. So I should be able to murder, or excuse me, abort a person that's in a coma because they don't have sentience.
Exactly, yeah. What's that vegetable doing there on life support? Why don't we just unplug the motherfucker? They're wasting tax dollars anyway, right, Melissa?
Yeah. And because of these feminist laws regarding abortion, there's double standards, right? And the double standard is if she aborts her kid, she's #stunning and brave. If someone were to kill that pregnant woman, that someone gets hit with double homicide. Two standards. Yeah.
No, I was looking back at the chat, and Jacob's calling Tiger Lily a stalker. Just because you guys both liked my channel doesn't make her a stalker, sir. And hit thumbs up if you can. Hit like and subscribe. Anyway. No, Melissa, you have a really good point there. And the abortion debate really boils down to what do you consider life? And if you don't consider the fetus a human being, then why the fuck do you care about me shooting Bambi? Because the same people arguing that abortion is okay argue that hunting is not.
Oh, don't even get me started on the retarded mindset it takes to be on the left. Like, it's thoroughly retarded. Don't even, like, okay. Here we go. So we're going to talk about the environment, right? And then here comes Lefty, and they're like, oh, the ice caps are going to melt in 10 years and blah, blah, blah. Basically everything Al Gore preached to him and that he was fucking wrong about.
Yeah, but he said that 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Ice caps.
bear with me, right? So they're going to be like, oh, we need to do, and most of the lefty programs to solve quote unquote global warming is a form of global welfare empire. And what it is, they're going to take from rich countries and give it to poor countries. And their solution is for all of us to go live in tents, have no technology, and just give everything, all our wealth to fucking shithole countries across the world, right? That's their solution.
I'll pass on that. They can go fuck themselves. Come and take it.
And then here comes the liberal mindset, the lefty mindset, right? So I'll say, okay, well, you want energy independence. So do I. I'm actually a really big fan of energy independence. I really am. And my solution is nuclear power plants. They'll be like, that creates toxic waste, blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. What's your solution? Oh, well, we need solar panels. Okay, so the very best solar panels are 22% efficient. Now, solar panels vary on how useful they are, depending on where they're positioned at on the globe. So what I'm getting at is a solar panel will be more useful in Texas than, say, northern Minnesota.
Or Oregon. Yeah, I live in the Pacific Northwest. You know what happens here? 9 months out of the year, a constant downpour of fucking rain.
Also, to that point, the manufacturer of solar panels also creates more toxic waste in one day than a nuclear power plant does in a week.
Yeah, and then you run into another problem, and that problem is batteries. Battery technology has basically not improved in the last 50 years, and we don't even know how to improve them. So even if you build a really fancy solar panel, you're still going to run into the problem that, well, physicists have literally been beating their heads against the wall for the last 50 years in batteries.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. MC has brought that up numerous times.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's not in this stream. MC, if you're in the chat, dude, this is the Civil War episode, you prick. Why aren't you here? Anyway. and then so solar panels not going to work. Like, the only technology that is both sustainable and useful everywhere in the United States that would get us off of oil independence and coal dependence is nuclear energy. That's it. It's the only one. You could build a nuclear power plant basically anywhere. We have tons of uranium, like half of Colorado is uranium, right? Okay, Melissa, you have a fair point, but I also know that we are the Saudi Arabia of coal. And I'm not convinced that man-made climate change is a thing. And so I'm not convinced of that. Then I say use the coal. And we are now energy independent, thanks to President Trump. I didn't vote for him. I'm not a big supporter. I'm a libertarian. But you know what? He's done some good shit. And getting us energy independent and going away from Obama's ban on coal was a fucking great move.
See, and here's the thing with coal. Like, most of the coal the United States digs out of the dirt is used to make fucking steel in China. Like, that's where most of it comes from, or it goes to. And I don't want coal, not because of whatever, CO2 or whatever, right? I don't want coal because I'm tired of watching men go down into a hole and fucking dying every time there's a catastrophe when it's fucking senseless. Either automate that shit, but we're gerbs. Either automate that shit, or we need to move to nuclear energy.
That's a fair point, and I wish Captain Coalpile was here because he does that for a living. Obviously, hence his username. And I would like to see his point of view on this.
Because, here's the deal. In India, decades ago, in India, when they came out with the automated weaver, right? This weaver did the work of like 10 hand weavers all by itself, right? And India, their genius was like, oh, we're going to ban these automated weavers because we're gerbs, right? And then all their clothes were expensive as fuck, and everybody else was buying a pack of 5 t-shirts for $1. Eventually, India lifted the ban so you could have automated, like robotic weavers, and the manual weaver jobs went away. Good. I don't want shit jobs. Like, holding on to these shit jobs is stupid. It really is. Like, it benefits no one. The people that lose their job, right, due to automation, they can retrain, get a better job, because now there's a whole bunch of new jobs. Like, if I make a robot fleet to go dig coal out of the dirt, well, robots aren't to the point where they can fix each other or themselves just yet.
No, I see your point. I see where you're going here, but they lose
their shit job. They retrain into robotics, and they get a better job fixing the robots.
But not all of the people that are in the coal industry are going to retrain into robotics. And that's a lot of money to actually do that. I'm going to school right now for a history major, and I'm paying fucking, I think, $40,000 once I'm done. I love history, and I got my own outlook on it. I got my own angle. So I know what I'm doing.
Like, I know there's people who like feminist dance theory, and they want to go get a degree in feminist dance theory. But let me tell you something. Go get a job.
No, wait a minute though. Are you comparing history to a feminist dance degree? Fuck off on that one. Like, God damn it. Like,
so here we go. Well, I want you to, you know what? Humor me. Go to a job seeking website. Okay. And type in history major, and let me know how many jobs come up.
Well, I plan on writing a book or two, and maybe go into teaching. I might get my associates in general education and just be a history teacher. But I'm not sure about that.
You want to be a history teacher in our gynocentric school system? May the force be with you.
I know, right?
With you. You're gonna get me too'd. You're gonna get hashtag me too'd right out of that fucking business.
You're such a jerk, but you're probably right. Like, God damn it.
You're gonna be surrounded by feminists. Yeah, you're gonna get hashtag he too'd right out of that fucking me too. Yeah. Oh, he looked at my boobies in a funny way. Oh, you're fired. Have a good day. But you didn't even give me an investigation. Doesn't matter. The vagina said so. You're fired. Goodbye. That's it.
Well, did I at least get to pound it before I got me too?
Oh no! You stare raped them. You stare raped them. If you happen to glance at a woman, like you just happen to like look in a woman's general vicinity, and she feels like you're below her standards, you're gonna get me too'd, and that's it. You're gone. No trial. Nothing.
Yeah, I know. They just kick you the fuck out, right?
Look at what happened. Lindsay Shepard, I think her name is, right? She's a left winger person with a vagina, and all she did, she didn't even do anything. She just presented material of fucking what's his name, Jordan Peterson, and I have beef with Jordan Peterson. But at the end of the day, he's a world-renowned psychologist that has wrote multiple papers, peer-reviewed papers. And all she did was show this very respected psychologist's opinion or whatever, stance on something.
Oh, no, could you imagine?
And they gave her an inquisition and kicked her in the fucking dick.
Real quick, Melissa and Gunslinger, both of you, think about this. Could you imagine Freud in today's modern day environment? How fast would he be Me Too'd? Like,
yeah,
fucking done.
Yeah, hashtag Me Too.
Let's see. What's smaller than a nanosecond?
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
But smaller than that, you start going into like Planck time, like some physics shit. Like, but here's the thing, right? There's always these double standards when dealing with these fucking feminist women, right? Like, Harvey Weinstein did nothing wrong, and that man has all the politics I can't fucking stand. He is everything I hate. No.
Wait
he is everything I hate about the modern man. He didn't do
anything wrong. The casting couch is okay. You're cool with that?
Yeah,
like,
it's called. It's
suck
called.
my dick, and I'll give you a
No,
fucking.
no. First off, let's go into actually what happened. Okay, first off, Harvey Weinstein participated in a capitalist transaction. 2, he was an
You sound more libertarian than I do. Like,
2, he was an outside force. It's not like he was trying to directly employ these women. He's like, no, what I'll do is if you touch my pee-pee, and I'll go talk to this fucking director and get you that fucking this role or whatever, right?
Well,
so he wasn't even directly hiring them.
Let's be real about it, though. You suck my cock, and I'll get you a job.
And first, like one of the accusations was that he raped me. He ate my pussy. What the fuck? Who rapes a bitch by eating her pussy?
That's a good point.
I just got something to say. If you've heard those fucking tapes, I want to punch this dude right in the fucking mouth. He is a fucking weakling.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong. I hate everything Harvey Weinstein did or is about, like who he is. Like as far as like his politics and what he believes, he's a fucking male feminist, a dipshit, everything. But at the end of the day, he like what's one of the, not Rose McGowan, the other bitch's name that kicked it all off. Fuck, I forget her name. Give me a second here. I know it's Rose McGowan. What's the other bitch's name? Oh, Asia Argento. So let's talk about Asia Argento. That bitch, she's got her own sex scandal where she literally had sex with an underage boy. Now, because the way males and females enter puberty, women typically enter puberty around age 11, and they're usually done by age 16. Boys, on the other hand, enter puberty at 13, and they're usually done around 18. This bitch had sex with a 17-year-old boy, 37-year-old woman at the time. So she was 37, had sex with a 17-year-old boy, 20 years her junior. This would be the equivalent of a 37-year-old man having sex with a 14-year-old girl or 15-year-old girl.
No, absolutely. And if you look at the other way around, the man would be in prison forever. But what happens to the
we would fucking crush his nuts, right? Now,
yeah. What happens to the female teacher, though? She gets, oh, I wish I had a teacher like that when I was in high school. Come on, I even thought that statement. You know what I mean? Like, where were these bitches when I was in high school? But
this is why
remains that's rape. It is.
And this whole thing.
It.
And Asia Argento, she slept with this 17-year-old kid, had her fucking cucked husband, who was also one of these fucking liberal male feminists, and he ended up committing suicide because Asia Argento was riding the cock carousel, right?
Well, you know what? Real quick,
Melissa. She paid this 17-year-old kid to shut the fuck up, and then she turns around and wants to Me Too Harvey Weinstein. Fuck this bitch.
Yeah, no, and you know what's really interesting is the suicide rate of men that actually get raped by a woman when it comes to, like, school interaction or anything like that. It's actually men fucking end up killing themselves. That's weird. Women get raped and they move on. Men kill their fucking selves. So what is the bad, what's worse here?
Well, see, and then, like, you look at these feminist rape statistics, and they'll come up with some bullshit statistic like 1 in 4, whatever, right? And then someone will go, and someone literally did this, and they're like, well, in your statistics for rape, you excluded prison rape, which if you include that, men get raped more than women. So the feminists were like, oh shit, what do we do? What do we do? Oh, I know. Let's change the definition of rape to include, like, people saying, hey, that's a nice ass bitch, right?
Yeah, no, that's the weird thing too. Is now the definition of rape has gone from actual penetration and assault to I looked at your ass.
Yeah.
That's really fucking weird.
And so, but if you if you actually like ignore the feminist definition of what's rape and shit, boys are more likely, teenagers, and young boys are more often forced to be in a sexual be in a sexual act, whereas girls are most likely to be like molested.
No,
so when it actually comes to forcible rape, boys and men are actually more the victims than women and girls.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, men won't talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, even if we end up in prison and something happens, we will not say a goddamn word.
Well, no,
that is the real difference.
I mean, like in the military, if you have a security clearance, for example, one of the unwritten rules is you never go to a psychologist. Right? And the reason is if you go to a psychologist and they diagnose you with whatever, they're going to take your clearance away, and they're going to take your guns away, and they're going to put you on some sort of watch list and blah, 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 blah. So you lose your fucking rights. You lose your fucking job. But hey, man, why don't you come along and ask for help more often?
Well, no, and that's my point when it comes to the gun control debate. Okay, you want to talk about mental health. I will talk about that. I will entertain it, and let's try and get a fucking situation out that actually works. But the thing is, when you're talking about mental health compared to gun rights, a man who likes the Second Amendment will not go see a counselor. They won't. Why?
Oh.
Because if they're diagnosed with something, then they might not be allowed to purchase a gun, and they enjoy their fucking rights.
Yeah. Well, I mean, according to the mentalhealth.gov, here's like why the whole mental health argument is stupid. And I don't understand why right wingers are even fucking entertaining it. They shouldn't. So, according to mentalhealth.gov,
go ahead.
The mentally ill are no more likely to engage in any kind of violence whatsoever than the general population. But are 10 times more likely to be the victim of violent crime.
Fair enough, but my only comeback to that is if you look at the mass shooting numbers and who's actually doing the shooting, they're all mentally ill. They're all on antipsychotics. They're all on these drugs.
That's because of the gynocentric nature of mental health. Like, okay, let me quantify what I was talking about. In the 1990s, boys were overwhelmingly diagnosed with ADD, ADHD. Then they gave them Ritalin, which is like fucking legal methamphetamines, basically, is what it is, right?
Not basically. That's exactly what it is. I've taken straight amphetamine salts, and that made me chase my tail for 3 days. Yeah, that's what it is. It's legal.
It'll fuck you up.
It will.
And then these boys who were drugged with fucking methamphetamines when they were teenagers, now they can see the ramifications of Ritalin. And like these boys that were drugged up with Ritalin have poverty issues, mental health issues, depression and stuff like that. They have difficulties holding jobs. They have difficulties keeping families. They have difficulties interacting with society properly. And it's like, no shit, you gave these boys fucking drugs. Then, in the early 2000s, it went from ADHD to ADD to, depression. That was a big thing. And they gave all these boys all these antipsychotics. Right? Or antidepressants, excuse me. And lo and behold, you look at the Columbine killers. Both of them were on these fucking antidepressants. So, gee whiz, I wonder, we gave a bunch of kids extremely powerful psychoactive drugs. And then, look at that, we got to pay for the consequences. And then now the latest thing is, bipolar disorder and autism. That's the latest and greatest thing. And I don't know what the drugs are for autism, but I do know what the drugs are for bipolar disorder, and it's lithium, a powerful psychoactive drug. And in 30 fucking years, guess what's going to happen? Ooh, all these people are all fucked up. And especially, this is especially true of ADHD. It's just a way for teachers, lazy fucking teachers, and lazy single fucking mothers to control normal male behavior. Boys aren't girls. They're not going to sit down with their hands in their lap and be neat and organized and be like, okay, teacher, I'm ready to learn. No, boys need to get dirty. They need to get their hands on shit. And if you don't do that, they're going to get restless. But instead of, actually being teachers and good mothers, they decided, let's put them on methamphetamines. Send them on their way.
Well, no, I actually completely agree with you. Another freaking atheist, it's not gun control. Or no, it's not gun confiscation, it's gun control. Dude. Yeah, okay. We have the right to own and bear arms. That doesn't specify what kind of arms. In my opinion, I say a nuke in every goddamn garage. Like, here, let me red pill. Let me red pill. This is another freaking atheist. Like, let me red pill the shit out of you. You ready? We had less school mass shootings from 1776 to 1979 than we've had from 1980 to 2018. Yeah, no, and what changed? Gun control changed. And guns, the fact that we have gun-free zones. Guns are not an invention of the 1980s, nor are they significantly more powerful. I mean, fuck, in the early 1900s, you were able to legally own and buy a fucking Tommy gun, an actual automatic rifle. So guns are not the problem. You know what causes gun violence here? I'll let you know. One, the gynocentric nature of mental health treatment and diagnosis. 2, fatherlessness. And 3, society does not give a shit about disaffected young men. You know what, though? I do like the fact that you added fatherlessness in there, because that really is an issue. Even a girl father, even a boy needs his father. The mother cannot do everything on her own, and a mother cannot teach a boy to be a man. He needs a man to teach him how to be a fucking man. And a girl needs a father figure to know what a good man is. And I'm sorry, hate me if you want. Go ahead, downvote my fucking stream. But that's the goddamn truth. You need a father and you need a mother. And the fact that the United States went from treating a family unit as the goal to, hey, we'll give you more money without the dad in the house is a goddamn fucking problem. Yeah, it's all this great society bullshit. Like, and so if you want to, let's talk about mass shooters that killed more than 10 people at a school. So the first one was in 1966 with Charles Whitman and the Texas Tower shooter. Well, there's also the woman who hated Mondays. Don't leave her out. Like, so the next one that killed 10 or more people, you have to fast forward 33 years to 1999 with the Columbine killers. Fucking Kip Kinkle and Thurston did happen. I live here in Oregon. Springfield's the closest town to me. So I know Thurston, the school district. They killed 10 or more people. I believe, I don't know if he hit 10 actually. You right. Like, you gotta listen to the qualifiers I'm saying, right? So 10 or more people. So the next one from the Charles Whitman in 1966, you have to skip ahead 33 years. And here's the thing. We've had more gun laws from 1980 to today than we had from 1776 to 1979. What changed in that time? Well, I'll let you know. No-fault divorce became a thing in the 1970s. And the divorce rate skyrocketed along with single mother rates. So you had all these teenage boys that don't have fathers now. And by the time they were old enough to pick up a gun in the 1980s, they started going on their fucking
shooting rampages because they were raised all by a bunch of degenerate fucking single mothers. But my strong independent woman that's going to get all the help from the government. Fuck off.
I'd also like to make a point about the Tommy gun. You didn't have to have a fucking background check or a fucking waiting period.
Yeah, it's
you could have ordered that motherfucker out of the back of a goddamn magazine.
Look at what's going on in the United Kingdom, right? They got to the point where like people are stabbing each other, and the idea that the great brilliance of the United Kingdom is, oh, we're just gonna ban sharp knives, as if that's gonna stop anybody from killing people. How about you address the fucking problem? You let too many goddamn Muslims in your country. That's the fucking problem. But no, that's racist. As if you could be racist against a religion. It's fucking stupid, but whatever. They don't want to address the causal problems. They just want to deal with the aftermath. And you know what? Ban all the guns you want. It's not going to stop anything. It's not going to fix anything. And you're just going to end up with more and more dead people until you fix the underlying factors. And that is getting the father back in the house, instituting soft patriarchy. That's the only way you're going to fix this shit. It's the only fucking way you're going to fix this shit. Not by you, man, gun control. Blah, 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 blah. It's fucking stupid. We've given you all the gun control you could possibly fucking want in the since 1980, and the problem is only getting worse. So now what's the answer? Take everyone's rights away? Take everyone's rights away because you're degenerate single mother kids? It's fucking stupid. It is fucking stupid. You're not going to fix the fucking problem.
Well, I'll tell you right now, taking the guns away simply doesn't work. We tried doing that, and we've had more shootings since.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like there's pockets in the United States where, like, basically you can't have a handgun, right? Or you can't have a gun. And like Chicago and DC and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And don't your cops regularly get outgunned by the bad guys?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. And so when you bring up like Chicago and DC and all these places, right? Their retort is, well, the guns are coming from like Indiana or fucking wherever, right? And I'm like, well, why if that's the case, why isn't there a gun crime problem in, say, Indiana or Southern Illinois or Minnesota? Where do the fuck you think the guns are coming from?
Because that Indiana thing is what you call a bullshit excuse.
Yeah. So it's just a way to shift the goalpost. That's basically all it is. You want to stop gun violence? Bring daddy back in the home. Reform your mental health program so it's not so goddamn gynocentric. And start giving a shit about young men. Basically, quit hating men. That'd be a good start. Just quit hating men. Just quit hating men. Get rid of all the feminist bullshit. Quit hating men. That's all you got to do.
I'll be back in a moment, guys.
Sure. That's how you fix the school shooting program. It's just quit hating men.
Well, another way you can fix the school shooting problem is stop telling kids to not run in the hallways.
Yeah. But yeah, no, but I get it. I understand what it is. It's like, this is a Democrat thing, right? Like, it's just, in their minds, they just want to control fucking everything. And that's basically what it is, right? We don't want to fix fatherlessness and start giving a shit about young men because we got male privilege to worry about and, all this bullshit, right? So it's just easier to take everyone's rights away. That's basically what it is.
Oh, it's not just that. It's also they punish you for doing the right thing. I mean, like, I tried to distance myself from a situation at the end of last year. I ended up still getting arrested for it. So next time, don't distance yourself. Make sure the fuckers can't call the cops. I've tried to do something right for the environment. I've got a more economical car. So they just bumped the fuel prices up. So I'm using as much fuel as I used to anyways. Yeah. I just felt like I'd be punished for that. Last night, I only bought 3 long necks because I'm trying to curb my drinking. And now I wanted to go and get some beer. This is why I haven't been on since I was going to get on like when everybody else got on. But fucking I've been trying to fucking find a fucking beer in this shithead country town because now they won't open the bottle shops until 10 o'clock just so as you don't drink that hour earlier. Oh, yeah. So you get an alcoholic like me who can't get a beer. morning who's now got an enraged alcoholic fucking bloody massive fucking temper. I'm pissed off like fuck. You really want me out in public in that condition? No. Give me a fucking beer when I want the damn thing.
Yep.
And they're only doing it just getting in the road. It's not a thing of like if they really wanted us to stop drinking, they'd ban it. But no. They're just got to do shit like fucking, oh, no. Make them wait another hour. You know, just, you know, or like we're buying cigarettes in a bloody petrol station, right? You can only buy it from one counter. And these dumb cunts who have never had a fucking cigarette in their life seem to think that, oh, if they stand in the wrong line and then they can't buy cigarettes from that counter and they have to go to another counter and stand in that line, oh, they're just going to go, you know what? I'm not going to wait the extra 3 minutes to fucking wait for everybody else's shit. I'm going to just quit smoking. No, it doesn't fucking work like that. It just pisses people off.
Well, yeah, and here's the other thing, right? Like, with that, like, this is a purely a leftist thing. Like, in Seattle, I think it was. Like, they raised the soda tax so goddamn high that, like, a 12-pack of soda is close to $20, right? And I say, you know what this is? This is just a poor tax. That's all this is. Like cigarette tax, alcohol tax, now weed tax in select parts of the United States, and soda tax or sugar tax, I think they're calling it. All this is just a way to control poor people's behavior. Like these taxes don't affect the rich disproportionately; they affect poor people.
Yeah, well,
and this is the liberals who care so much about fucking poor people want to control what they could buy, what they could eat, what they could drink, what they could consume. It's dumb. Yeah. It's just liberal leftist classism is what it is. It's leftist classism. It's these upper middle class twats forcing their moralism on the lower class because it makes them feel good. It's fucking stupid. And I'm willing to call it for what it is.
Well, I'm also going to put out there the notion, too, that fucking a lot of it does have a lot to do with fucking feminism and women thinking that they're empowered. And the only thing that they can really do is just pretend to be mothers to everybody and treat everyone like fucking children. Just take the cigarette tax, for example. It goes up every 6 months here, and it goes up a really stupid amount. It's like 13% every 6 months. And now a packet of 20s is like going to be on Monday, because it's just gone up, about $24 for a packet of 20 cigarettes. And like these idiots don't seem to realize that fucking you're stopping one problem, but you're causing another. And a lot of people have quit smoking, but as a result, obesity rates have fucking skyrocketed, because what happens when you quit smoking? You eat more. So you're not going to get heart disease and liver failure, this kind of shit from cigarettes now. You're going to do it from being a gigantic fat fuck. But this huge tax, right, the way that they fucking touted it at the beginning was that if I smoke for the rest of my life, then eventually I'm going to be a burden on the health system. Okay, that may be all well and good. I'm paying for my medical care later on down the track. What's the fucking problem? Oh, the doctors are now saying that if you refuse to quit smoking, they're not going to help you if you get cancer. Oh, okay. So all that time when I was a firefighter and I was sucking in carcinogens from house fires and car fires and all that kind of stuff, and being blown up once and presumed dead twice for this fucking joint, that doesn't come into it at all. Oh, no, we're going to blame it all on cigarette smoking and we're not going to help you later on. Well, why did I lift a fucking finger in the first place, you bunch of fucking cunts?
Yeah, no, I mean, they don't really care about you anyway. You're a man. And men are disposable, so go check your male privilege somewhere. I mean, that's basically what it's going to be.
Well, what I'd like a card from the Cancer Council that says, I refuse treatment. So I don't have to pay this exorbitant tax to fund my medical care later on down the track. I want a card that says, don't treat me, so I don't have to pay the tax. That should be fair.
Yeah, I agree.
But what's actually happening is that I'm paying 7 or 8 times the amount that it's going to cost to help me. And no, it's not going to help 7 or 8 other cancer smokers, because they're all paying 7 or 8 times the amount that's going to help them. What we are paying for is all these dumb fucking vegan hippie fucking cocksuckers who burn themselves out by running 50 fucking Ks every day and wonder why they drop dead of a heart attack at fucking 40.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing. Like, You look into these leftists, and they're almost always just massive fucking hypocrites, right?
Oh yeah.
Like Al Gore, he had like a private jet, and like if you have any idea how much fuel a fucking jet burns, it's redonkulous, right?
Yeah. Peter Garrett, he's a lead singer of a band called Midnight Oil, and they were like hippie, greeny, fucking leftist, fucking bullshit artists all the way back from the fucking. I think they started in the late 70s, early 80s. But yeah, fucking Peter Garrett ended up getting into the Greens Party and became a senator. Did that stop him from using the Commonwealth car system? The Commonwealth car is a dirty, great big fucking V8 fucking supercharged fucking Holden sedans.
Wait a minute. These are taxpayer bought cars?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And they're the most the least economical vehicle you could use, and he was one of the biggest users of the car system.
Well, I bet all these fucking liberals, I'll guarantee it. Or all these leftists. Let me put it that way.
Hippies and greenies. Like I remember when I was in primary school back in the 80s, we had some greenies come in and give us a lecture on fucking global warming and recycling and all this bullshit. And after they just told us about not using glossy paper and all that kind of stuff, they gave us all these glossy fucking pamphlets. And I'm like, yep, nah. You lot can get fucked. Not mind you, I'm in year 5 at this point. So this is what like Australian schools are like. You know, we're growing up in Australia. I was like, yep, you know what? You can get fucked, you bunch of hypocrites. And they're like, what? So you just told us not to use this. Now you're giving us a pamphlet on telling us how not to use this fucking pamphlet. Apart from that, that fucking no shit, they came in a combi van. I said, that fucking combi van you came in has got more rust. It's so unroadworthy. It's blowing more fucking smoke than a fucking 20 a day smoker. And you want to sit there and fucking burn all that oil and fuel and shit and then tell me that I can't? Go get fucked, you assholes. And the teachers are just going, oh, Phil, no, shh. No, fuck off.
Yeah,
fuck them. I'm calling.
Yeah,
global warming's a load of bullshit anyway. Stick up your
ass.
That's
why Trump pulled us out of the Paris Accord. Thank God he pulled us out of the fucking Paris Accord. Because here's basically what the Paris Accord was.
Oh, we're back. No.
Well, we're going to tax America, and we're going to give it all that tax money to fucking shitholes across the world.
Real quick. No, you're absolutely correct. But we were talking about the Paris Accord last night, and another freaking atheist was the guy pushing it. And he says gun control is not gun confiscation. Bullshit, motherfucker. I will call you out on that. That's bullshit. Because gun control is gun confiscation. If you are stopping a perfectly able, above 18-year-old man or woman from buying a gun to protect themselves because of some stupid background check or what have you, then that is gun confiscation because you are stopping their ability to actually own said gun. Don't give me that shit, dude. No, fuck off on that.
I like that scene from The Lord of War where fucking Nicolas Cage, he's on the airplane and they get forced to land and a whole bunch of
my god, I love that part of that movie.
Yeah.
I own that movie.
Yeah, a whole bunch of natives they just basically just empty the plane in 30 seconds, and then when this fuckwit fucking Interpol bloke shows up, he has this stupid ass fucking spiel about I'm going to arrest you and hold you for 24 hours, and I'm not doing that just because that stops you from selling guns. That means that your guns won't get in the hands of people who can kill themselves. Well, what that fucking retard didn't realise was that this was Sierra Leone. It was in the middle of a fucking civil war, and the civilians who now have guns have the ability to defend themselves from the assholes who already had the guns who were hurting the civilians. What a retard.
Well, and now another freaking atheist is going on about gun safety course. Oh god, this is so fucking stupid. It makes my fucking head hurt. Okay, you get your gun safety course. Now I'm a bad guy, and I want to go kill a bunch of people. Okay, that's what I want to do.
Yep.
Do you think I'm going to bother implementing anything I learned in the gun safety course?
Well, yeah, no.
Fucking people? Like,
Melissa, I know exactly where you're going with this, and that's the goddamn point. Is the point is the criminals don't follow the goddamn laws. All
yeah,
right,
it's fucking
shocker, you know, shocker, people. But the criminals don't follow the fucking law.
Yeah.
So you want to
Well,
ban me from owning an AR-15, but the criminal who doesn't give a fuck about the law will.
Yeah, it's just it's so
AR-15.
myopically stupid. And then like these gun safety courses, like these safety courses these fucking leftists come up with. Like, oh, we just want a gun safety course. We just want a gun safety course. Okay, so it's, and I know how it's going to go down. They're going to charge you like $500 for this fucking class to make, or however expensive they want to make it, to make gun ownership prohibitively expensive. That's what it's about.
That's our fault. Sorry about that. Yeah, pretty much. It's you can still get firearms in Australia. It's just so stupidly expensive. It's not fucking funny.
Yeah, but that's not gun control. Fuck out of here.
Then also too, right, with the gun safety thing, we had this argument 30-something years ago, almost 40 years ago. They said you used to be able to have like a gun rack on the wall and just guns just sitting on the rack. I mean, okay, yeah. So it is a sort of a decent idea that you should secure your firearms, but the way the way you have to do it is you've got to have the mechanism out of the gun. So if it's a break open shotgun, you actually got to split the gun into its parts. If it's like a rifle, the bolt's got to be out of the rifle. If it's got a magazine, you've got to have the magazine out, and then you got the rifle in one locked box, the working parts in another locked box. Any magazines have got to be in another locked box, and then the ammunition also has to be in another locked box. So there's the argument we had. Hang on a minute. When someone breaks into your house, you're like, oh, shit, he's got a gun. Hang on a minute, mate. Fucking, I've just got to unlock this, and then I've got to unlock that, get me bolt, put that in there. Then I've got to unlock another one, grab me magazine, and then I've got to go unlock, and then put a couple of rounds in the magazine. Okay, mate, I'm ready now.
Yeah. Yeah. Now we're arguing about the AR-15. You know what? I love the AR-15. You want to know why I love the AR-15?
No, the AR-15.
You could go Korean convenience store clerk with that motherfucker. That's right. No, remember the riots that happened in California like 20 years ago?
But the AR, Melissa, the AR, shit, it rattles back and forth. It throws your shot off. You have to replace the actual firing pin to make that problem go away. Yeah, so I do know a little bit about guns. Another freaking atheist. You want to jump in here and defend your position? I just threw the hangout links in the chat. Go ahead, jump in, defend your position. Canadian.
So So if you remember, like there was these riots in LA.
Yeah.
And straight up,
LA riots.
This Korean convenience store clerk got on the roof with the semi-automatic rifle. I forget which rifle it was off the top of my head.
It's an M16A1.
Yeah, and he fucking anybody looks funny at his convenience store, he put their dicks in the dirt. And you know what? That's his goddamn right. That's his goddamn right.
You see, I don't really mind about an assault rifle ban because.
All right, I'm back.
Because an SLR L1A1 is not an assault rifle. Neither is a 303 Lee Enfield. Neither is an M14. They're all. No cunt saying shit about those, and they got bigger bullets.
I'm all
you know what? No, wait a minute though. Everybody wants to bitch about the AR-15 and the .223 round. What about the 308? What about something that will drop a goddamn bear?
Let me tell you why the military went to it from a 5.56 to a 2.23. You ready for this? This is the dumbest fucking reason.
They did the same round you just said.
What's that?
5.56 is 2.23. 5.56 millimeter is 2.23 caliber.
Well, okay, yes, but
you mean 308?
The 308. Yeah, you want to know what? Excuse me, I got my numbers.
Or the 7.62 by 5.1 NATO rimless round.
The reason they switched it is because the 2.23 gives less kick, and that's important because we got to have vagina in the military because reasons.
Fair enough.
It's actually
I'm okay with that, though. But if you want to talk, wait a minute though, real quick, Farty. If you want to talk about the actual damage a round can do to a human being, then maybe we should be arguing about the 12 gauge and 308, and shit like that, where it's a massive fucking exit hole. Yeah. Have you seen what a fucking 308 will do to a fucking elk?
Yeah,
Like,
you know,
come on.
You know why? You know why there's you get light or flashlight attachments for a shotgun, but not laser pointer attachments? Because the laser pointer on a shotgun is pointless when the flashlight pretty much accomplishes the same thing. Whatever that light is hitting is not going to have a good day with a shotgun.
Yeah, that's 12 gauge. Yeah, you're done.
Yeah.
Well, no shit. Shotgun.
The actual story of the 308 and the 556 actually stems right back to when they started having repeating rifles in the military. And there used to be an actual doctrine, even say back in with the 303 Lee Enfield and stuff like that. They actually still had a magazine cutoff device on the thing, which is just the thing that slides over the top of the magazine. And what was supposed to happen was you'd have one round in the chamber, and if you saw the enemy, you'd fire that round, and then you'd manually load up another round. Now, if you got into shit where you actually needed rapid fire, then you open up the magazine, cut off, and then you got 10 rounds ready to go. The whole rationale of that was that if you gave a soldier 100 rounds and the ability to fire 100 rounds in one foul swoop, he'll use 100 rounds in one foul swoop. And those were rather large bullets, and they were quite heavy.
Well, no, but Forky, isn't that the reason you have the difference between a single shot and a burst fire?
Yep. And that progressed up, all the way through World War II. And there's the Americans that started going on with semi-automatic weapons, and they didn't want everyone to carry a full automatic weapon because of the same rationale. That's why the M1 had an 8-round clip on it.
I like the M1 Grand. I really do like that rifle. That is a sweet fucking rifle.
Then you get into.
Well, I got a question for you guys. This is another thing I hear a lot in this discussion. What percentage of leftists do you think knew what a bump stock was before the Las Vegas issue? What percentage?
0.7%. That's it. Nobody fucking.
Is there anything smaller than absolute zero?
Right. Like, what percentage of leftists do you think that suppressors work like the movies?
Oh my God! Could you imagine if
all of them?
God, yeah, I could totally just use a pillow and that'll silence the entire gunshot. You're like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, even if
the revolvers too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
they all think they all think suppressors work like fucking James Bond, right? Like, no, I'm like, so what a suppressor actually does, it goes from like a freight train to a semi truck. Like that's about the difference.
No,
I like it.
Actually,
if you use subsonic round going off next to your ear, and then taking that M80 and throwing it about 10 feet.
No, if you use subsonic rounds,
real quick, guys, real quick. Another freaking atheist in the chat is still going off about gun control. Dude, just join us and have a good conversation.
Get in here, you little cocksucker.
Yeah, my panel may not like your approach at things, but me and you are cool. You know that. Jump in, brother. Let's handle this.
I'm about to bounce anyway because I gotta go shit on single mothers here in a minute. So I got things to do. I got the hate stream to do.
Yeah, I got things to do. I gotta go shit on single mothers. That makes you sound awesome.
Well, now next week you're definitely gonna want to get in on the hate stream because we're gonna do lefty trans. It's gonna be a lot of fun, I promise.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, I'm down. Hit me up. I'll join.
We're gonna go shit all over lefty trans, like just all of them, like all the communists, feminists, social justice dipshits, like lefty trans, like must 72 genders. Okay, that's fine. We're gonna shit all over you. I don't care. I don't hate you, Tiger Lily. Why would I hate you? I don't care.
Yeah, don't hate on Tiger Lily.
I mean, I've seen Tiger Lily before, but I don't hate her.
Hey, Melissa, you gotta be careful when you shit on single mothers. Some of them are real big slut bags, and they like that kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, I'm really, what's really nice about being an androphile?
What?
I don't have to deal with women's bullshit, like, at all. It's so nice. They'll be like, because, like, they'll be like, well, you're just that way because no women will fuck you. And I'll be like, guess what? I'm an androphile. I don't want anything to do with you. So I don't care. I don't care. Your vagina means nothing to me. Unless it's a great big dick. I don't want anything to do with it.
That's a similar way. A similar way without the whole dick sort of thing. Like I cook, I cook for myself,
sort of thing. Yeah, right. You drop
and
there,
he's straight. I cook
for myself. I clean for myself. I do all my other stuff for myself that fucking Sheilas do, and none of them want to do it for me, so they're epically fucking useless to me.
Dude, you like Xena. You liked her flipping around, going and that's see, what you're all about.
No, actually, who's the little blonde Sheila she used to hang around with? I prefer that one.
Yeah.
Oh, what was her name? Gabriel or Gabby or something like that?
I don't know.
I don't remember, but yeah, the blonde one. Yeah. I agree. I'm good with the blonde one, not the one that can kick my ass.
You see, a lot of like my view on just shit changed when like I started transitioning, right? And the reason is because I was like let into these little women cliques all over the place for whatever fucking reason. And like I just started listening to them and just some of the retarded shit that would come out of their mouths that they actually believe. You know, oh, men and women are interchangeable. They're exactly the same. Well, no, they're not. You're an idiot. You know, and I would tell them that too. I'd be like, no, you're not. You're an idiot.
But Melissa, on the other side, though, don't you think people like
you broke up. I couldn't understand a fucking word you asked me.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. What about somebody like Lacey Green who actually jumped over to our side of the argument?
But did she really?
Are you good with?
No, Lacey Green. No. I guarantee you, if you sat down and talk to Lacey Green, you were to have a one-on-one with her, she'd believe all that gynocentric bullshit she used to believe. Okay, or that she used to preach. Right, all of it. And what I mean is, like, she wouldn't have anything to say about the Duluth model. She wouldn't have anything to say about the divorce courts. She wouldn't have anything to say about the family courts. She would probably support #MeToo and #Stunning and Brave. She probably supports like universal suffrage and women's right to vote and all this bullshit, all this feminist bullshit. That's that. And like what? Like God, here's the crowd that really irritates me is the quote unquote anti-feminist crowd. Because they're fucking idiots, right? They'll say some shit like, here's what they'll say. They'll say some shit. Well, I don't like third and fourth wave feminism, but I like first and second wave feminism. God, that is painfully stupid. And it just tells me they're just utter lack of knowledge on fucking anything, right?
Well, wait a minute, though. Wait a minute, though. Melissa, what about women's suffrage? They don't deserve the right to vote, in your opinion?
No, we're going to go back to my meritocratic voting system. Don't forget that.
Yeah, no, they shouldn't have the right.
Fair enough. Yeah, you already said what you were about. Fair enough. My bad.
Let's not get ahead of myself. I've already said that if you're a landowner, be in the military, or fucking a business owner, I don't mind you voting. Now, if you lose your business or you lose your home, you lose your right to vote or your voting privilege.
Oh, wow!
And don't give me that. And don't give me that shit that voting is a human right, because it's not. We don't allow children, illegal aliens, or criminals to vote, or foreign nationals. So don't give me that shit that it's a universal right.
I would argue.
Or dumb bitches who welcome in fucking Muslims with open arms. You don't want them cunts to vote either.
I would argue as a libertarian that felons deserve the right to vote. It doesn't matter what they did in the past as long as they serve their time. So I would argue with you on that point, Melissa.
But no, I'm saying right now, as it stands. Like I'm not making a value judgment if we should or shouldn't do that, right? I'm making a statement of fact. Right now, we don't allow foreign nationals, illegal aliens, children, or felons to vote. So don't give me that shit that it's a fucking human right, right?
Fair enough.
Basic right, right? Don't give me that shit. I ain't even trying to hear it.
No, you have a point. Yeah, fair enough.
So we can dictate which people are allowed to vote any way we want. And here's my standard. And this is not unprecedented, right? Early in America used to be this way. Rome was this way. Like if you actually had to do public service in order to get full citizenship. Like this is not. I'm not making any kind of radical statement. This is an idea that's been floating around for 2,000 years, right? If not longer. So like. Yeah, it's not about women voting. I don't mind women that vote, that can perform, like that can meet the standard. But this idea of some generation-long single mother pumping out baby after baby after baby, sitting there being able to vote for her free shit, no, that's got to stop. That's bullshit. And it's not just women. Like, half of men shouldn't be allowed to vote either. So,
fair enough. At least
right?
You're an equal opportunity hater.
Yeah, exactly. My hate is a prism, and if you know anything about that, you shine a light into a prism, it goes into all directions. That's how my hate is.
Fair enough. No, but the thing is, though, women have the right to vote, and you don't have to be a property owner to vote. So to try and change that back to the old ways, you're not really going to achieve that. And Brianna, will you stop? Gosh, sorry about that. My daughter is just crying
I
for
hear.
no reason. But no, you're really not going to be able to change the way the voting happens.
No, that's bullshit too.
Point,
like
where do you advance to?
In feminist Sweden, and that's not hyperbole. Like, their party is literally called the Feminist Party. It's not hyperbole. In feminist Sweden, there's these little pockets of Muslim societies, right? There's like 60 of them. And in these pockets, because the government is so fucking afraid to go deal with the men in these pockets, they've taken their women's right to vote away. All their rights. And they live like women do in Saudi Arabia or fucking Afghanistan or any number of these fucking Islamic shitholes you want to name. And you don't see their women revolting. And you don't see the government doing a goddamn thing about it. And if the police or the government tries to go in there, they're going to get the shit kicked out of them. You want to take women's rights away? This is all men have to do. They just have to take their women's rights away. The women ain't going to do shit. They didn't fight for their rights to begin with. They just cried and whined until enough guys that wanted their peepees to get touched agreed with it. Right?
That's about it. Yeah.
So all you need to do, all men need to do is just collectively say, you know what, we're going to take women's rights away. There ain't nothing the government could be able to do, especially as armed as the United States population is. There'd be nothing the government could do about it. There'd be nothing the police could do about it. There'd be nothing the state governments could do about it or the federal government could do about it. They would just have to accept the situation for what it is. All right, we're going to repeal the 19th Amendment. Fuck it.
Well, if we're going to repeal the 19th, what about the 13th and 14th? They can go too, right?
Well, I'm just saying, like, I'm not talking about like other shit. I'm just saying, if men really wanted to take women's rights away collectively, they'd be gone, and women wouldn't say shit about it. They wouldn't fight for it. They wouldn't argue about it. They just quietly go off their own fucking way. Well, I guess I'll put on lipstick and a dress and go get married. Do. And that's what they've done throughout history.
No, that's a fair point, but I mean, I come back to the fact where you're not going to be able to take society backwards. You're not going to be able to take rights away from other people.
No, but we have a demonstration where it is happening in feminist Sweden, for crying out loud. In feminist Sweden, Islamic men are taking their women's rights away, and their women aren't doing shit about it. The government's not doing shit about it. Nobody's doing shit about it. They're just letting it happen. Here, you can have your Sharia courts too. In feminist Sweden. If it can happen in feminist Sweden, it can happen in the United States. Trust me. We already have these pockets in society, like the Amish, right? They're women's. They don't vote. They don't do any of that bullshit. It's not their place to deal with politics. And that's how their women think. And they just, I don't know, they be single mothers and they deal with their gardens or whatever the fuck it is they do all day, right? Or they're not single mothers. They're just mothers and wives, and they deal with their gardens, their kids, and whatever else they do throughout the fucking day. And they don't say shit.
Hey, what goes clip, clop, bang?
What?
An Amish drive-by shooting.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all you need to do. Like, if and you want to, like, I get run into like the ethno-nationalists, right? Like these fucking idiots, right? I'm like, you know what? How about work with me, ethno-nationalists? Like, I don't care if you're a black nationalist or a white nationalist or Asian nationalist, whatever it is, right? You take your women's rights away, we'll take away ours, and we'll see how things work out. Then we'll discuss the race thing. Let's do what's needed first.
So, well, there is one benefit to being a multiculturalist society. I mean, like we've become a multiculturalist society in Australia, and the benefit of that is as a white person, I am a multiculturalist person, so therefore I'm allowed to take the piss out of every fucking culture. Therefore, by definition, I can't be racist.
Yeah. And I'll guarantee you, in like Australia, you know, they let in these Muslims. If they let in these Muslims, like they did in the UK, and
too late, we already have. There's fucking
and I'll guarantee you,
no, it's already happening.
In Australia, there are pockets of Islamic communities that have taken their women's rights away, and the government's too goddamn afraid to do anything about it.
Oh shit! Did you just see what fucking Lauren Southern tried to do?
What happened? Oh, going into the she tried to go in front of a mosque or something, and they were like, "Yeah, you can't go in there. It's going to cause a scene."
Yeah, like, you know what we call Leb? It's not Lekemba, it's Lebkemba because it's full of fucking Arabs. But there are entire swathes of Sydney that are now cut off that you can't actually go into if you're a white Australian or anything else because they're all full of fucking Muslims. There are places there where every single shop has Arabic writing on it, and if you're not fucking Arab, you're not fucking opening the shop anywhere near there. And you can't say anything about it. That is a thing.
Do you think those Muslim women that live in that neighborhood, those neighborhoods, those areas, do you think they go out and vote for anything?
Fuck no, and they don't know any better because they're not allowed to talk to any white people anyway. So they're kind of happy where they are because they don't know any better. Yeah. And you're not allowed to say shit about that either.
And the men, they just keep their pimp hands strong. That's all they do. They took their women's rights away. They keep their pimp hands strong, and nobody's going to do a goddamn thing about it. And that in Australia is, I mean, is as progressive as a country as any in the West. And men are taking their women's rights away. Same with Sweden.
Yep.
And you don't see the women revolting and fighting and shooting and bombing. They're not doing any of that bullshit.
No, it's even worse in some parts of Europe. They're actually welcoming these cunts in with open arms. And we're looking at them out here like, you fucking idiots. Don't suck to me when you get raped.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's a lot I disagree with, like, Islamic culture. Like, the whole, hey, we got to mutilate genitals because chastity. But what I do praise the Muslim countries for doing is keeping their fucking pimp hands strong. And
see, like
not dealing with this gynocentric bullshit. Like they don't deal with it. Like no.
I think a lot of Australian women who do support Islam, they're all stoners, and like they just found that heard, like if they walk around with their faces uncovered, they get stoned. Yeah, and that's why I reckon they support it, and they don't realise they're going to get a rock to the face.
Yeah, yeah. And see, and all like Islamic is like the way their relationships with men and women work and all that is just a hard patriarchy. Now I'm not a fan of a hard patriarchy. I'm actually a fan of a soft patriarchy. So there's three ways you can run government. You can have a feminist government, which leads to low fertility rates, low birth rates, and you have to import people in order to keep your population going. Then there's hard patriarchy, like you see in Islam. And then there's soft patriarchy. And soft patriarchy was like early, like from America's founding until like the early 1910s, right? When women started getting the right to vote. That was soft patriarchy. And soft patriarchy actually works the best for both genders, right? For both sexes.
Well, talking about idiots like Lacey Green, I mean, like the only reason why she's supposedly got PTSD is because she's led a fucking life. And this is what used to happen in society. The men used to go out and deal with all the nasty shit and protect the women and all this. Put your jacket over a puddle, open the fucking door for them and all this kind of stuff. And now you got all these dumb bitches who want to get into the male side of things, and they're like, oh, there's criminals. Oh, war is killing people. Oh, no, these Muslims don't like us because of the color of our skin and that we don't follow their religion. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my feels. Oh, well, just fuck off back to your kitchen.
Here's the reality, right? There's no situation where women keep their rights. So, and what I mean by that is, eventually, you're gonna run out of other people's money, and the welfare state's gonna collapse. And then we're gonna go back to a hard patriarchy, and women will lose their rights. That's one way it'll go. The other way is our birth rates will keep declining, and places like the Middle East and India will continue reproducing at the rate that they're reproducing, and eventually you just get taken over.
Well, there's one.
So you get another.
There is one glimmer of hope, and that is China. China has repealed the one-child policy because they realised that, well, now they're becoming a global power. They're going to have to fight a war one day, and if they do, their army has got no experience whatsoever. So they're going to have major casualties and major losses in the first few rounds. So they're going to have a major fucking welfare state in a very, very short amount of time. So start breeding, everyone. Have more than one child, so you can have at least one cunt that can work the farm whilst you're an invalid.
So the other situation is
real quick, is 6 enough, 40? Have I done my duty yet, or do I need to get a couple more out?
I didn't know you were a gook.
Oh, he's talking about more kids.
No. He's got 6 kids. You're doing your part, but like. The other solution is that your population goes down enough, and then another patriarchy comes and takes over you, and women lose their rights. So there's no situation where women keep their rights. All I'm advocating is that, us that live in Western civilization and value Western civilization, is that we just institute our own patriarchy to keep it going. Because we're a patriarchal species. We're not bonobos. And what I mean is, like, chimpanzees, when they got problems, they fight it out. They create wars and they get in fist fights, and bonobos, on the other hand, how they solve problems is they hang upside down and rub each other's dicks to solve problems. So let's not do the matriarchy route. Let's not do the bonobo route. Let's do the chimpanzee routes because but you put it like that. Like, hey, let's rub dicks together to solve problems. You'd be like, no, I don't want to rub dicks together. Get the fuck out of here.
You put it like that, though. That sounds a lot better than killing people.
So no, we do not need to implement the bonobo protocol, because bonobos, when you put that protocol on a patriarchal species, you end up with low fertility rates and low birth rates, and women lose their rights. There's no situation where women keep their rights. And it's not like I'm advocating something that's like wild, right? Like, women got the right to vote in 1920.
It's not my fault you love the cock.
1920, right? Women got the right to vote in 1920. So it's not even 100 years. And look at the damage they've fucking done. The social contract between men and women is all but destroyed.
Well, that's not
now you got hashtag Me Too, where a woman can jump on social media and go, hashtag Me Too. This guy assaulted me, and then he loses his job. He gets destroyed.
No, but wait a minute though. The fact that the marriage
is not a problem.
Shut the fuck up. God damn it. Sorry, my brother-in-law's a dick. But no, the fact that the fucking marriage contract is being degraded isn't necessarily women's fault. You know what I mean? Like, there is a mutual thing there. And the fact that women want to be more promiscuous and actually just do what the fuck they want is part of the reason why men are going their own way. Well,
I mean, it's not. I'm not blaming women. I'm blaming society. Okay, so you have a bunch of manginas that want to get their pee-pee touched, and women, and they're like, we want a right to vote, and them plus the men that want their pee-pees touched combined are a greater force. Like, it's all voting numbers, right? They're a greater force than the men are like, no, that's fucking stupid. Women haven't done anything to earn their rights. And women got the right to vote. That's how it works. I mean, women don't have to register for the draft. They're not expected to go to war. Yet women will vote for guys to go fight in a war somewhere. What the fuck kind of sense does that make? They're the majority of voters. That's why you got all these stupid bullshit feminist laws. Do you think the Duluth model became the status quo out of thin air? No, it became the status quo because women are majority voters, and politicians want their votes.
Well, fair enough. That's why the Democratic Party panders to the women vote.
It's not just it's just not Democrats, it's Republicans too. Like about half of the family court system is the fault of Republicans. Like, oh, we can't have deadbeat dads, blah, blah, blah. So, like, the deadbeat dad laws. Let me tell you about the deadbeat dad laws, okay? If you're in a marriage and that marriage falls apart and she gets kids, right?
Which 90% of the time she will get the kids.
Yeah. So she gets the kids, and let's say in the midst of this, for whatever reason, you lose your job and are unable to make these child support payments. They'll throw you in jail. And but while you're in jail, that amount of money you have to pay every month keeps going. So you get out, and then they throw you back in jail.
Yeah. No, you know what's really funny though is I'm on the other end of that situation right now.
Sorry,
my ex. No, real quick. My ex owes me child support. I just got her taxes. Actually, I got $1,000 on my fucking credit card. That was crazy. Because you know why it was crazy? Because she hasn't paid shit in fucking over 12 years.
Oh, yeah, she'll never go to jail. She'll never go to jail.
No, she won't. No, the only thing that actually happened to her is they took her fishing license and her driver's license. You know how quick I would have been in fucking prison? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Fuck around.
But you want to know why this? Okay, talk to you later. You want to know why this double standard exists? Because women are majority of voters. That's why. That's why. That's it. But I would love to sit and chat, but I got to get ready for the hate stream. It's been fun, guys. I'll quit derailing your live stream, Mad Dodge.
No, it has been fun and great talking to you.
Yeah.
Take it easy. Have a fun stream. Good night.
Yeah, you too.
All right, Farty. Drop bears. Tell me how to survive an attack.
Don't go in the bush. Easy.
You just hide in the bush? That works?
Don't go in the bush.
Oh, okay. So you don't want to go in the bush because the drop bear, that's their habitat, right?
Yeah, exactly. They drop down from trees and bite your fucking head off. That's how they do it.
God damn it. I was supposed to be doing a Civil War stream, but MC never showed up. So here we are. Now we're talking about drop bears.
I thought you were going to talk about war movies and shit. There's a really mad one you have to watch, man. It's called The Odd Angry Shot. It's an Australian movie about the Vietnam War. And it's about the Australian SAS. And if you want to see, like, you know, what Australia used to be like, what proper Australians used to be like, you know, where I get my fucking, where I come from, yeah, watch that fucking movie. It's mad. It's got a whole bunch of Australian, famous Australian actors in it. If you've ever seen Home and Away, Alf from Home and Away is in it. Graham Kennedy, Brian Brown, and John Jarrett when he was really young. John Jarrett's the guy from Wolf Creek.
Oh, okay. I watched Wolf Creek. That was a good fucking flick. And a horrible real life story. But you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, mate, it's actually based on two true stories. Yeah, one.
Yeah, you Australians are crazy. I mean, I get it. You gotta dodge the drop bears and shit. But like, damn, man. Like, you have some of the best serial killers. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Oh, it was fucking funny. I was on a bus coming from Sydney one night, and there was some British fucking backpackers sitting next to me, and they're talking away, and I'm like, they're going, oh, what do we want to watch on Netflix? Oh, let's watch Wolf Creek, and I'm just like, British, are you?
Oh my god! I can imagine you fucking with them in real life. Like that is hilarious.
Oh, back in the day, right? When Ivan Milat, when the backpacker killings were coming out, like, you used to be able to pick up backpackers and shit like that, like hitchhiking and stuff.
Yeah, hitchhikers. Hitchhiking technically is illegal in Oregon. But hitchhiking still happens. So
Well,
yeah,
it's not illegal here. It's just something you shouldn't do because you don't know who you're getting in the car with, and that's a very very real threat. Because I used to
fair,
pick
fair.
I used
No,
to
no,
pick
wait a
cunts
minute,
up,
though,
and
real quick though, Farty. Fair enough, but if you are prepared and you have a knife or you have a gun and you can protect yourself, then it doesn't really matter now, does it?
yeah, but no backpackers are going to have guns out here. I mean, like the locals can hardly get guns, as if they're going to give it to some fucking strange cunt from another country.
Fair enough. You guys are fucked up. I'm talking about the American principle. You know, we have guns still.
But this is what I used to do. I used to pick up fucking backpackers, right? And then, like, it'd be on the highway, so you'd get back up to 110 kilometers an hour, and then I'd start looking around, like, oh shit, where'd I put that fucking Bowie knife?
No, that's awesome. And even like me and you hang out all the time and bullshit. But if I was like the hitchhiker you picked up, I don't know if I'd trust you. You seem kind of fucking weird. I don't know, man.
But that's the funniest part about it, right? Is that like the safest place on the planet is within 5 feet of me. Like I know how to kill people and defend myself and defend others and all that. I've done that before, and then I also know quite a bit about the medical field and all this kind of shit. So if you're hurt or injured and stuff like that, I'm one of the best people that if I rock up and I stop, you'd want me to, you'd want me around. And
Yeah,
so
fair enough.
within
So-
5 feet of me is about the safest place you could possibly be on the planet. Yet people seem to think that I'm the most dangerous person to be around. It's really weird. It's funny.
Well, you're kind of a prick, which it's okay. So am I. But no, I get it. And dude, yeah, zombie apocalypse. You're fucking number 2 or 3 on my fucking buddy guide. Like we're gonna survive the apocalypse together, brother.
Bring the 22 ammunition, man. Because if you bring anything bigger than 22, you can fuck off on your own. You don't need anything bigger than 22.
Fair enough. Well, no, and a 22 sounds like a cap gun. So if you're talking about zombies, well, the 22 round will bounce around inside the skull, so it will handle zombies. And the 22 round sounds like a goddamn cap gun. So you're not going to attract more zombies than need be.
It's not just that. There's heaps of economics to a 22. You can carry thousands of rounds. It has no kick, so you can sit there headshotting cunts all day long. Fucking actually plug cunts in the head. You're not going to get sore from doing it. It's plentiful. Oh fuck yeah, the ballistics of it as well. I mean, like if you can kill a zombie with beating it over the head with a baseball bat, then a 22 is going to be more than enough to fucking cause enough trauma to fucking take out a zombie's brain.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, you don't need a 308. You don't need a AR-15 or a fucking whatever else, a 38 fucking revolver even.
Yeah, and if you really want to get stylish and technically advanced and all this kind of stuff, a subsonic hollow point, not only if you've got a silencer or a suppressor, that'll actually make it completely silent. You'll only hear the action going backwards and forwards if it's a semi-automatic. If it's just a bolt action, you just hear click, and that's it. Like Dad used to have a fucking 22 with a fucking suppressor on the end of it, and literally with subsonic ammunition, all it was that's as loud as it is.
Wow, that's actually crazy. Because I've never actually used a suppressor. I don't actually know, how much it really quiets the round down.
Well, if you use a suppressor with supersonic ammunition, all it basically does is that the suppressor quietens down the expanding gases, which is the burning powder, and the actual firing of the primer, which is actually the louder part of the bullet going off. But the projectile, when it leaves the barrel, is still going supersonic, so it'll make a crack, a supersonic bang. So if you fired a supersonic round out of a suppressor, it'll still go like a real loud crack, but it's not as loud as the actual casing going off. And if you use subsonic rounds, will dull the primer and the expanding gases, and the projectile's below supersonic, so it won't make a crack, and it will literally make zero sound. But if you use a subsonic hollow point, then the lower ballistics means that all the energy is going to be imparted into the target, and then the projectile will actually expand almost to double its size. So you'll almost get about a 40 caliber slug going through the zombie's head, and it won't leave the other side of the head. So you'll have all that kinetic energy, and the shockwave and shit shatter the brain pretty much, turn it into mush. So yeah, there's a funny little thing about ballistics. 22 subsonic isn't the fucking pissy little round it sounds.
Yeah.
No, fair enough. And dude, MC, if you're out there and you hear my voice, this is supposed to be our stream, you dumb son of a bitch. Get in here. If not, then whatever. Me and Aussie here are gonna talk about drop bears and koalas fucking having rabies. That's how we're rolling. So about those koalas. How do you put up with that shit, dude? Like, no.
Well, you actually don't really see very many koalas. Like, they just sit in the trees and they shut the fuck up. Like, they do make this sort of like a bleating sound every now and then, like, ah, kind of a thing.
Fucking assholes.
But see, like, here's the thing that like a lot of people don't know about koalas is that they're used to like a certain breed of eucalyptus leaf. So if you take a koala out of a paper bark tree and put it into an iron gum or something like that, they'll literally die because the eucalyptus leaves literally are like a drug to them. It's like heroin. And if you take them off their one brand of heroin, they'll fucking literally go and put them into another brand. And that's no shit. Like, I'm not fucking trying to pull any bullshit over here. Fucking, like, literally, they are stoned off their ass. That's why they're so fucking mellow. That's the difference between drop bears. Drop bears have some antibody in them that doesn't fucking allow them to get fucking stoned off the eucalyptus leaves. So they're all cranky all the time.
You are awesome. You even wrapped the drop bears up into that conversation.
Yeah.
You are fucking great.
Seriously, though, koalas are fucking stoned off their ass. That's why you hardly ever see them and all this. They rarely come down out of the trees. It's in bushfires and stuff. You can see a few of them. Trying to and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, you rarely ever see koalas unless you're really trying to look for them.
Well, they're nice looking. Like, they look like Stitch from Lilo and Stitch or whatever. That's pretty much a koala. I mean,
it was funny.
Cool.
It was funny. My cousin Melissa, not the one that was just on, but yeah, I've got a cousin Melissa, the no neck witch of the West, because she used to live in the western suburbs of Sydney, and she's got a couple of vertebrae missing out of her neck, which is really fucking funny because she has to turn her whole body if you're standing behind her. I always forget this, and she's got this real funny face that she does. Where you go up behind her and say, "Hey, Melissa," and she turned like sort of most of her body and like had this weird grin on her face, like that looks funny. Oh, sorry. Oh, fuck, that's right. I can't say anything. But she used to work at this.
Farty, you sound like the major prick right now. Just saying.
Well, no, it's the Japanese tourists are the major prick. Fucking, she used to work at this theme park, and she was an animal wrangler in the koala sanctuary. And fucking, she'd be holding the koala, and these Japanese tourists would be like, "Yeah, nice koala," patting the koala. But as they're patting it, had to be closer and closer to her chest, and they're like, "Nice koala, nice koala, nice koala, nice titty."
Oh, okay. So MC, you're finally here. Grant is a butcher. The South should have won, and you can suck my rebel cock. Anyway, how are you doing tonight?
The only flag that mattered from the South was the last one that flew. All white.
Oh, ouch! Oh, we're going right down into the fucking deep shit. All right.
The only flag that mattered from the South is the one that's flying over our country. Get fucked.
hey, like, is Australia even real? Like, shut the fuck up. The grown-ups are talking. No.
Hey, I was talking about the New Zealand flag, thank you very much, because Australia doesn't exist. So, yeah, if you're coming out here, you're going to New Zealand, remember?
Fair enough. I apologize.
America has problems, but we never lost to a bird.
Yeah, Dude, what was up with that?
Well, we didn't lose in the end. We got mercenaries. We got the farmers just like, yeah, we'll pay you fucking per head. No worries. We pay you in beer. Fuck yeah.
Pay you in beer. Sounds like my type of contract. I'm down. Are they still doing that?
The actual story of that was that there was 3 blokes and a Lewis gun, or 2 Lewis guns, and they just went out in a truck and they just went, yeah, we'll see how many we can shoot with machine guns. 1 Lewis gun failed, and then by the time they fired about 5 rounds out of the second one, they all fucking scattered. Like, oh shit, these fuckers are smarter than what we thought.
Oh my god. Dude, I would have shot more emus if I was staring at Lacey Green's fucking cleavage than they did. But anyway.
It's fucking emu. It's not spelt with 2 O's, man. Fucking
emu. Sorry.
You sound retarded when you say that. Emu. Hello, emu.
Wait a minute. The Aussie is calling me retarded. Wait a minute, buddy. Don't you have a felony or 2 to go fucking check back on?
No, my parents immigrate, or my grandparents immigrated here. They weren't convicts.
Fair enough.
I'm from the upper crust Commonwealth.
Yeah, I know. I'm just being a dick.
In other words, he's from the guards.
MC. Okay, so Civil War and movies. What do you think about Gods and Generals or Gettysburg? Do you think they're good portrayals of the Civil War, or do you think they're shit?
Okay.
All I know is Gettysburg was fucking long.
Gettysburg was long. There are parts of it where they attempted to be historically accurate more than many of the other.
That's what I like. Ted Turner actually made a point of being historically accurate. And I like Gods and Generals. Gods and Generals is my favorite. I own them both, but I don't watch Gettysburg because I know how it ends.
Okay, Dodge. Okay, have you ever seen the was it the telemovie series North and South?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. You're talking about fucking
Patrick Swayze and fucking
Patrick Swayze. Yeah. Me and my wife got to disc 4, and then Patrick Swayze disappears, and suddenly it's a whole different goddamn show. That's where we stopped watching it. But do I own it? Yes, I own it.
Yeah, I kind of got that way over Foyle's War, where the war ended. A member of the MI6 and like, oh fuck, no, they changed the bloody format. Damn it.
Well, no, MC, why are you laughing? I'm serious. Like, the whole fucking TV show shifts and changes. Suddenly, the guy that was a Confederate is now a Yankee. I don't get that. Can you explain that to me?
No, that happened quite a bit, actually, more than people realize. Where people, after a series of time, decided, you know what, we're not only are we fighting a losing war, we were wrong to pick it up this way. Now, it wasn't as common as
it rode in on.
Look, if you can't deal with reality in the fact that many of these people sit up there and did sit up there and come back and go, you know what, this is getting out of hand, especially
but a lot of the other people came back and said, hey, the South is right. Look at New York. Look at the fucking race riots.
The race riots,
how about you take a look at that fucking
the race riots had nothing to do with.
They had a lot to do with the South.
Actually, hold on a second. The South. Hold on, wait a minute. And I'm going to prove you wrong as to why. Right? When did the South engage in conscription?
63 is when they started.
Try again.
2?
That's right. April of 62 is when they first started conscription. The race riots were basically right after Gettysburg, if you remember correctly. In New York.
Yeah, the race riots were, I don't want to go fight the goddamn Confederacy. We're done. We don't want to fucking do it.
That was not trying to go, we're done with trying to fight the Confederacy. That was, we're worried about being going to fight the Confederacy while somebody else was going to be taking my jobs, specifically the Irish and so forth. Yes, there were riots that happened.
So you're racist. You hate the Irish. All right.
Well, the same change of attitude could also be said about the Vietnam War. I mean, like you go in there to try and prevent communism and the takeover of the South and all that, and then it turned into burning villages and fucking over civilians, and then a lot of people back home going, "Hang on,
that's another problem. We won't talk about the Vietnam War because
Farty, I like where you went there because burning villages, the whole fucking state of Georgia.
The whole state of Georgia was not even burned. And this is kind of the kind of crap that you keep pulling out of your ass.
We're going to get to that.
Threw me caliphone pigeons there.
100-mile stretch between 10 and 15 miles wide is the whole state of Georgia.
No, you have a lot to explain when it comes to Georgia, sir.
I don't have anything.
Or South Carolina. We can handle that when we get to it, sir.
Do the same thing in South Carolina.
I'll be winning one on that one.
No, you won't. You'll be losing that one too.
Oh, I ain't losing shit. Like, I might have lost the fucking war, but I'm gonna win the goddamn battle. Fuck you.
What battle? You ain't winning shit.
You even showed up late, MC. Fuck you.
Hey, you can't talk either, man. Like 2 fucking world wars.
Before you come back and say I showed up late, when did we say we were going to do this?
Fair enough. All right.
So don't come back with me and tell me that I was late.
Fair enough. All right. I'll grant you that. You win that battle, you yank fuck. Anyway. Draw bears, am I right?
Has anyone heard from Bob lately? Eldritch God?
Yeah, he was.
He hit me up last night, I think, actually.
Yeah, he's just fucking really late today.
Well, maybe he's just working. So okay, let's get into the Civil War a little bit here. Let's at least salvage this stream. When it comes to movies, MC, do you think Gods and Generals did a good job? How about Gettysburg? Because Ted Turner seems to be the guy that actually did it correctly, in my opinion.
The thing is yes and no. I mean, you're showing certain. First of all, if you take a look at the movie Gettysburg, all right, and you see the edited version, which that's what most people got. Even the non-edited version does a very poor job.
To be fair, I own it. I own the double disc edition. I bought the, you know me in the Civil War, dude. Of course, I bought the fucking special edition.
And never watched it because you can't stand how it ends.
Well, Gods and Generals ends bad too. It ends with fucking Stonewall Jackson being shot. Like, that's a horrible ending. But yeah, I get your point. I do hate the way they fucking wrapped it up. And I think that personally, if I would write it, I would write it a bit different and a bit more specified to the actual events of said battles.
Well, but it's hard to actually do that. If you take a look at there are aspects that make it more accurate than others. Okay, but at the same time, like for example, Gettysburg. Okay, they don't do a very good exam. They show people getting blown up and so forth. But the reality is you're not seeing real carnage, the real carnage of what that kind of warfare was like and what happened with that. If I was going to sit up there and talk about any negative part of the movie Gettysburg, which overall was okay, it doesn't do a very good job of even talking about any of the tactics used by the North. And in fact, it relies completely upon all the communication from the generals in the South, as if the North just stood there and all these things happened around them and there wasn't action that was taking place as a result of their actions and their movements. Okay, it does a real disservice to me, right? Who's the first general to actually anticipate, right, Lee's movement in the attack, which nobody had done before, which leads directly, of course, to what you do see in the end, which is the Pickett's charge. You also don't. One of the things that many people don't realize is one of the other things that people found out very quickly were the Union intelligence services realized on day 2 that the only major unit that hadn't been in the combat was Pickett's division. So they expected to find wherever they found Pickett's division, that was where the freaking heaviest attack was going to be. Logical assumption, seeing it's a large unit and it hadn't been engaged yet. So during the battle, they were waiting for.
No, wait a minute though. Fair enough, MC. But if General Lee didn't do what he did, then he could have used Pickett's division much better. But he did what he did. So he sent him straight up into the firing line. Is that noble? Is that a good thing? Is that something we should fucking be proud of? No, I'm mad. I'm mad. I'm sick of this shit where I should be proud of Pickett's charge. No, that was Robert Lee.
You're playing a what if game. Okay, let's talk about some what ifs. What if Burnside didn't sit up there and order the Union troops to right into the center 15 times? All right, at Fredericksburg. Okay, if you're going to play what if games, you can't stop and talk about one side what the mistakes were on one side. All right, you got to take a look at the totality of the whole thing as it works. Because even at this battle, if Dan Sickles wouldn't have freaking screwed up, the second day of battle would have been an absolute disaster for the South. The South would have been absolutely mauled.
But they weren't. We stood firm.
It wasn't that you stood firm. You were unable to sit up there and actually collapse the left line that had been uncovered because of a bad mistake by a general.
You're right.
Okay, so if you're going to play what if games, well, what if?
No, I'm going to play what if with Pickett. Pickett, that charge was not necessary. If the South would have let him not charge and actually redirect their troops and move towards Washington, we would have a different fucking outcome.
So the outcome would have been more positive probably for the North. Movement would have been.
I disagree. I disagree completely.
Movement on the rails was an advantage at this point for the North.
That's fine.
They could not have. No, they could not.
You take the southern. No, wait a minute though. You take the Army of Northern Virginia. You position it.
Where was the Army of Northern Virginia as it came into Gettysburg?
It was moving up through the Pennsylvania and Virginia line.
Where was it? Where was it in relationship to Washington? Where was the Army of Northern Virginia?
About 150 miles away.
All right. As it's going into Gettysburg, where do they come into Gettysburg from?
They would go west, east to west.
They came in from the north. In other words,
wait a minute. The Southerners came in from the north. That's interesting.
In the Battle of Gettysburg, yes, they came down from the north. Why is this important? Because it shows you the disposition of where the forces were. They were already interposed. The Northern Union cavalry was already, the Union lines themselves were already interposed between Washington, all right, and Gettysburg. The South would have had to do a wide sweeping action through territory that it didn't control and hope that the Union couldn't sit up there and manage to use the one advantage that it did have, the railroads, all right, to reposition itself faster and quicker between Washington and the Southern Army. The other thing is that the Southern Army could have easily at that point, right? Once it's been engaged, you know where the South is. You have a very good idea where the Southern area is. It wasn't that Washington D.C.
I think you're counting out Robert E. Lee. No, I think you're counting out Robert E. Lee and his actual ability.
You don't
dudes,
have the
I gotta
ability
get
to
going.
teleport men around a freaking battlefield.
All right, guys, I got to get going.
All right, man.
I'll catch you
All
later.
right. Yeah,
Okay, bye.
yeah. Don't let the drop bears get you.
No, that's the problem. I got to go chase some fucking drop bears out of my yard. All right, see you.
Cheers, man.
All right. But no, okay, MC. Thing is though, dude, Robert E. Lee is a good general. Is he a genius? I don't know. I would lean towards yes, but
Is
you
he
would
perfect?
probably
No.
no, he is not.
There's lots
He
of
is
people
not
that do
perfect.
things.
And I would have repositioned after Gettysburg. I would not
You
have
would
fought
have
that battle there.
attempted
I would
to
have bought.
reposition.
I would have fought that battle 20 miles up the road.
You wouldn't have fought that battle 20 miles up the road. Okay, the battle was fought for the very reasons that were going on. All right, it's you're acting like there's only one side can move and they can set up however they feel like. That is not the case. All right, especially for Robert E. Lee in this environment. The biggest difference between when he's moving in the north versus when he's moving in the south, where he's trying to make aggressive movement, is he doesn't know the territory. He doesn't know the lay of the land. And
are you telling me Robert E. Lee doesn't know fucking Maryland? Give me a break, dude.
Yeah, I'm saying that if it wasn't
Come
for
on.
the fact of another Union mistake, Robert E. Lee would have been destroyed at Antietam.
No, he would not.
Oh, yes, he would have. Okay,
No.
this is the kind of crap that you just ignore. They had frickin' McClellan had his order of battle. He knew where they were, and he let it go for over 18
McClellan
hours.
is a fucking pussy, dude.
Once again, if
I
it
would
wasn't
whoop his
for a
ass.
mistake by a Union general, all right, his army would have been defeated in detail.
Yeah, but you know what? The mistake was there, and McClellan is a little bitch.
Okay, and the mistake
I can
was
kick his
there
ass.
at Gettysburg as well.
Was it?
Yes.
Robert E. Lee made a mistake when he pushed Pickett's division forward. I would not have done that. That was a mistake. Yes, I am armchair quarterback in here.
All right, and then what would you have tried to do?
I would have repositioned the army.
As soon as you attempted to reposition, you were going to open a flank and you would have been subject to being destroyed. This isn't like it was in Chancellorsville where the armies couldn't see one another or weren't in contact with one another. Once Gettysburg was engaged, disengaging isn't very freaking easy. And in fact, one of the things that people were upset about from Meade is how they're asking, well, how come you didn't follow this up? Because they were following them the whole way down. Now, he could have launched attacks at several points. He didn't do so because of the state of his army and several other things that were going on at the time. But the facts is that if Lee would have attempted to just move his army at that point in time, all right, you weren't dealing with the Army of the Potomac under McClellan. Okay, you were dealing with an experienced officer who knew how to exploit an opening. Right, he would have been destroyed if he'd attempted to actually try and set up another set battle piece. And furthermore, he doesn't have the ability to stay in that territory for very long. He didn't have the time to just sit around and wait for supplies and get supplies up. The longer he stayed in there, the more frickin' food and resources he was using. Okay, he couldn't move that quickly. The idea that somehow he could just set up wherever he wanted a few weeks later, no, he couldn't do that just a few weeks later. It had to be then. You're not looking at the constraints of the battle that was being fought. One of the major reasons Lee had launched that attack there was because he felt he couldn't just move, or he would have to retreat totally all the way back, and that nothing would be achieved. This was his chance to achieve something.
Absolutely, and fair enough. I tend to actually agree with your synopsis, but the thing is, though, okay, the Confederacy could not move in the open field without being attacked. Okay, well then you either move towards DC.
How are you going to move toward DC? This is the problem. Where did they attack from? In Gettysburg, the North, the South came in from the north. Okay, which meant that the Union lines, all right, were already between them and DC. This meant that you had to swing in a wide movement around, all right, the Union Army with your entire
wait a
army.
minute, though. Will you agree, MC, that this battle was not supposed to be fought? No, neither side wanted this battle to be fought. Will you agree with me?
No,
there,
I disagree with that. Both sides wanted to fight. Where it was fought was unexpected. That's not the same thing as saying that neither side wanted to fight this battle.
I believe that Gettysburg was not the fight that Robert E. Lee envisioned.
Of course, it's not the fight. Any battle you lose is not the fight you wanted to have.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You got me there, sir. You got me. But no, the fact remains, though, man. If you would have repositioned the army of Northern Virginia, and you would have put them in between you and the fucking
how are you going to do that? You're saying that the Union forces were just going to stand there. That's nonsense.
They're not going to stand there. I get
you
that.
Didn't have the ability.
What I'm gonna do is, instead of charging Pickett, I'm gonna fucking reposition him 20 miles down the goddamn road, and I'm gonna ask the Union.
What do you mean 20 miles down the road? That means you're gonna march all the way around the freaking flank, and you don't expect to be observed during that entire time. That's what you're expecting to happen.
Do you want to fight? Then we'll fight there. That's my point.
No, you're saying that you're putting Pickett in a position where if he's caught off guard, he can be destroyed in detail if he's leading a movement like that.
Well, I'll throw Jackson there too.
Jackson wasn't alive.
Hey, shut up.
He wasn't alive. Deal with the fact that you don't fight with the army you have. You fight with the army you want. You fight with the army you had. And in this case, the army they had didn't have Jackson.
You're such a prick.
How am I a prick?
God damn it. Okay, fine. Jackson's dead.
Let me live in fantasy land.
Yeah, dude.
Let me have my fantasy. Reality sucks. God, you sound like a freaking liberal.
I do live on the West Coast, sir. There is that. West Side, motherfucker. Anyway. No, okay. Fair enough. Jackson was dead. If Jackson was alive, could he have done better? Absolutely. But the thing fucking remains, when you're talking about, the Army of Northern Virginia, how long did they put them off? How long did they fight the behemoth that was the United States military? I mean, you want to talk all the shit you want, go ahead. But dude, they fought them off for 4 years. That's pretty amazing.
How is that? It's only amazing because they weren't fighting Grant for 4 years, were they?
Grant's a butcher and a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
The same freaking thing. Just demean the other people because you can't stand an outcome.
Fair enough. Yeah. You got me written down.
Of course I have.
Are we still cool? Yeah, we are. Go ahead and nail me on that. But yeah, Grant is a butcher. Grant fucking... Dude, come on. You're going to break dams and flood an entire fucking area just to take Vicksburg? Is that your move, MC? Is that something you would have done?
Did Vicksburg fall?
Vicksburg didn't fall because of his fucking flooding. You bitch.
No, but it was an attempt
to
sit up there.
No.
And how many people died when he flooded the area?
I don't know, actually.
That numbers. It didn't work. All right, he wasn't successful. You're correct about that. So he was trying a tactic that didn't work. That happens a lot of times. That happens to Lee, even in the battle on the Peninsula campaign.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Lee whooped ass in the Peninsula campaign.
Really? The first day of the Peninsula campaign, when he sent his first forces over on the side and got his ass kicked, right? If it wasn't, once again, he outgeneraled frickin' McClellan, right? But that's because McClellan was an idiot, okay? Not because of any great frickin' skill. And if you can look at each one of those individual
no, you're being a bit harsh. You're being a bit harsh. You nailed
what
me
was
on
Lee's forces at the end of that battle? How many forces did he have?
He lost about 15,000 troops.
Okay, out of how many?
Peninsula battle. Out of about 70,000.
Out of about 45,000. He had lost yes, he had lost almost half of his force. And if the Union would have stayed there beating on him back and forth, that attrition would have ended the Civil War in 62. If it wasn't for the fact that
you're full of shit. They
couldn't fucking shit.
No. They couldn't take a Richmond, man, and you know it.
He would have been forced to fall back onto Richmond right then, and Richmond then would have been surrounded, and that would have been the end of it.
And you think Lincoln wouldn't have taken that up if he thought it was possible? Give me a fucking break, dude.
I don't think McClellan was the one who couldn't take it up. If you would have had Grant in that same situation, it would have been over for Lee.
Grant's a little bitch, and he was fucking.
Going back to saying,
no,
oh, he's a little bitch. She's a little bitch.
No. You know what? He actually fucking, as a president, was a piece of fucking shit.
He wasn't a bad president.
Yes, he was.
Really? Why?
You want to look at the fucking? You want to look at the history?
I know
he
the history.
Was.
No, he wasn't. What was it? What was he bad about?
He was a fucking you're my friend, I'll give you what you want type.
That's how all of them were. The difference was that when his friends screwed up, he got rid of them. Unlike many of the other ones, all right, when his friend screwed up, he's like, I'm not going to protect you. You're going to jail. And he would put them in jail.
Grant was not a good politician. Grant was not a good general, in my opinion. Grant was
not a good general in your opinion? Well, you know what Robert E. Lee's opinion of him was? After he was quote unquote called a butcher by these very same freaking Confederates that you're praising to the hilt here, he said, "You guys need to shut up. Grant is running his affairs very, very well." That was a difference between somebody who's respecting what they're seeing and people who have no respect or understanding of what these people were going through.
Fair enough. You want to know what Robert E. Lee said about Grant after the war? When he was in his private quarters, he said,
"That's a lie." Because you know what? All this stuff comes out of other people who had little bitch ass freaking motives to sit up there and lie. And a lot of their crap that they spewed in those books
damn well what my statement is. You know damn well.
I know that you've got a person who sit up there and had lied repeatedly, and you're saying, but now he's credible because he disses on Grant. No other reason and no other proof.
No, what do you
mean no?
What I am trying to explain.
No, you're not trying to explain. This is exactly what I said. The reason you're doing this is that account was not an account by Robert E. Lee. Okay, that's an account by either Early or one of the other ones that had an axe to grind against Grant, number one. And number two, had already been outed for a lot of their quote-unquote previous statements that had turned into absolute falsehoods when it was really investigated. And now you're going to sit up there and say, but in this case here, their testimony is trustworthy, even though it's completely out of character for Robert E. Lee, the man. Now, that's the kind of crap that goes on. You guys, why do you believe this shit? Because only for one reason. You want to believe it. You want it to be true because you want to sit up there and have something that stokes your hatred and say, look, my hero said this, so therefore I'm justified. Even though the likelihood of it actually being said is damn near zero.
Okay, Robert Edward Lee said
And
that.
do not sit up there and tell me what he said unless you can show me where he wrote it down himself.
Damn it! You won't even let me talk. Okay, MC. Let's
I'm
just
letting you
yell.
talk. I'm telling you, you cannot sit up there and tell me what he said. All right, when the only people who heard it, okay, were supposed that were attributed to him saying it were liars. He himself never said it.
But no, what's funny is you know exactly what quote I'm
It
pulling
doesn't
up.
matter what quote you're going to quote, and that's my point.
Yeah.
Yes, I do know what the quote is, and you're right. I'm not going to let you say it because you are already attributing it to Robert E. Lee rather than the actual source it came from. You are doing exactly what irritates me about the mainstream media. Well, Robert E. Lee said this. Well, rather than, well, this guy after the war claimed that Robert E. Lee said this. You won't even go to that point. You won't even examine the situation, or I just say, wait a minute, why would Robert E. Lee make this kind of a statement?
Why would he? Because fuck the Yankees. That's
right.
But,
because of your attitude, my attitude says screw the Yankees, so therefore that's what he says. You're trying to put stuff in there to justify your own point of view, not even the reality of what was really going on. If Robert E. Lee was like that in his private quarters, then why the hell would he was an honorable man? He wouldn't say something in private that he wouldn't say in public. That had been his entire career. And yet now, all of a sudden, we're going to pull stuff out of our asses, all right, because it justifies our viewpoint.
no,
but it
that's
was totally not accurate.
that is not the quote I was going to pull up.
Which quote are you going to pull up? Then go ahead.
What I was talking about was about 2 years before he died, he said that if I knew now what I know,
exactly the quote I thought you were going to put up there, and he never said that. He was attributed to him, okay, because somebody else wanted Lee to have made that statement. If Lee felt that way, Lee would have had no problem saying that to everybody.
Fair enough. Okay, go ahead. Rant on, sir.
Well, try to justify why you're using a known lying source, all right, as the material.
A known lying source.
Yes, because this came from.
Now,
if I'm not mistaken,
suddenly I'm fucking Rachel Maddow.
That comment. Excuse me. Where did that comment come from? If I'm not mistaken, that comment came from a specific individual named Gordon, right?
That statement came from a historian, and Robert E. Lee did say that.
That statement did not come from a historian. That statement came from Gordon, all right, who a quote-unquote historian then attributed to Robert E. Lee, all right, through Gordon, when Gordon was the only one who possibly could have, quote-unquote, heard this. And it's completely out of character for the man, Robert E. Lee. Is it possible Robert E. Lee said that? Yeah. Is it likely? No, it isn't, because Robert E. Lee wasn't the kind of backstabbing weasel that Gordon was. And Gordon had been repeatedly caught in a series of lies of his own character and how things were going in the battle. And you say, come back and try and tell me this. Well, this is what he definitely said. No, you say that this is what he said because this person said that's what they believe, that's what he said, at a time period when that person had every reason to lie about what Robert E. Lee actually said. If that's all true, how come Robert E. Lee the next day didn't come back and say it again? How come Gordon didn't come out the next day and repeat it?
On that note, though, why didn't he disavow it?
He was dead.
Fair enough.
He was already dead.
Yeah, you win that argument. God damn it. But no, it's the same thing, though. You want to argue about me with, what's the difference between a republic and a democracy? Let's have that argument. You think Robert E. Lee wouldn't have fed into that argument? Like, you say that wasn't his statement. How do you fucking know, dude?
is a matter of whether or not I believe a liar or whether or not I believe Robert E. Lee's actual words when he said it. All right. This was only attributed to him after frickin' Robert E. Lee was dead. Okay. And it wasn't something that came from Robert E. Lee at a time period with somebody like Robert E. Lee, who was a frickin' honorable man. If he would have said something like that, he would have said it in public. He didn't say things in private that he wouldn't back up in public almost immediately. And since there were people still pushing at that point to run a frickin' guerrilla campaign, all right, Robert E. Lee's words to continue a guerrilla campaign at that point would have been perfectly understandable.
No, MC, actually, you hit the nail on the head. You are 100% correct. Absolutely. And the thing is,
so it's a disservice. What was happening there is a disservice to Robert E. Lee, where he was being used like a bloody frickin' Santa Anna's leg, saying, "Look at what he sacrificed for the cause. You know, do it for Robert E. Lee one more time. Justify the guerrilla actions that you're taking right now." That's what it was being done for. And by the very people that turned all this, that did that some of that crap. That was not who Robert E. Lee was. That's a disservice to Robert E. Lee and his family and the service that he did do for the country after the war.
And he did. No, and MC, the service he did for the country after the war was to back down and let the wounds heal. And if he didn't want to do that, the fight would have continued for another 2 decades.
It could have continued. It would have been a lot bloodier. It wouldn't have continued for 2 decades. It would have been a complete and total subjugation, which is what would have happened.
But you get what I'm saying. Robert E. Lee
it would have been much bloodier, and it would have continued. I don't disagree with you in that regard. Just your time frame. But the idea that somehow Robert E. Lee was being used in that kind of a manner is frankly offensive to who the man was. These people, this is the kind of crap that goes on. All right. When people die, unfortunately, too soon. It's unfortunate that Robert E. Lee didn't live on more than was it 5 years? I think when he died, he only lived like 5 years or more or so after the war. If he would have lasted a little bit longer, maybe these things would have gotten a lot better and we could have gotten a lot more historical details and accuracy. Okay, but he didn't, unfortunately. And what he was used was like frickin' Santa Anna's bloody leg. Oh, rally around the cause. Robert E. Lee, he was like this and he was like that. There were so many lies being told about him. It was frickin' unbelievable. We never got a frickin' a good account, all right, of what really happened and what was really going on at Gettysburg as a result of things like that, because it couldn't be given that way. Now, Robert E. Lee was just another human being. There were aspects of him that many people don't know about. One of which was he had a temper. Okay, he would yell at people. All right, he wasn't this kindly portrayal that you see in Gettysburg where he yells just a little bit and then he immediately backs down. Now he may have done that with Stuart simply because that I can fully see that being happening with Stuart, all right, but it would have came out a lot more caustic at the beginning of that rendition. All right, it wasn't it was a slap immediately about what he had done wrong, and he could be very acerbic, all right, when it came to that kind of stuff.
Well, no, and he also was very bad at actually giving orders. Like attack this position at this time. That wasn't his style.
That's not bad. That has nothing to do. Okay, it wasn't that he was bad at giving orders. Okay, what he failed to understand at Gettysburg, all right, was that the people he was used to giving orders to, all right, weren't there anymore. The people that he was used to giving orders to, that he could give generic orders. Okay, general orders, right? And that they could be trusted, all right, to successfully and correctly, all right, interpret these orders, all right, as to what he needed done at the time. There had been a major shakeup in his staff. They did not have time to work that in. And in fact, when it comes to that specific aspect of the battle, Meade beats him hands down. Meade had only been in charge of the frickin' of the Army of the Potomac, all right, for a few days.
That's a good point. And Robert E. Lee had been in charge of the Army of Northern Virginia for months at that point.
But yes, but now he had lost. He had just got done restructuring the Army of Northern Virginia into a different, because of the command structure, all right, which had changed as a result of the death of Stonewall Jackson and several other things. All right?
No, and you know what?
That in and of itself is something.
Real quick, MC. Since this is an open topic type of Civil War discussion, do you think if Stonewall didn't die, the war would have went differently? And if you do, how?
No, the war itself would not have gone differently. Okay, the outcome of the war would have been no different. There would have been obviously changes in battles.
Well,
and so
I disagree with that premise. Actually, but
it's not going to change it.
No, fair enough. I do disagree. I think if Stonewall would have lived, we would have won more battles than not, and
you still
perhaps
you still quote unquote won more battles, and then because it became a repositioning game. After Gettysburg, what do you see? Okay, there's a couple major things that happen. Okay, after Gettysburg, right? So let's assume, and Gettysburg is the next big battle in the East, right? First of all, how the Battle of Gettysburg would have gone would have probably been about the exact same as what you saw, regardless of what people were thinking about. Well, if Stonewall Jackson would have been alive, I don't think it would have made a whole heck of a lot of difference. I really don't. Okay.
Well, no, the way the battle started was bad. The Confederacy kind of just floated in there, and then suddenly we're in a battle. That's never a good way to start. You know what I mean?
It was the same way that the Union came into the battle, what kind of floating in there.
Fair enough. I'm just saying that's never a good way to start a battle.
No, it was a meeting engagement. It was a surprise meeting engagement, which is not the best way to do things. That's very true. But that's one of the reasons why the battle probably would have turned into exactly what it turned into. All right, in the same way, I really don't think that there would have been much of a change. Right, everyone that keeps talking about, well, you know, he could have repositioned and taken Seminary Ridge on the first day. No, he wouldn't.
He could have. No, he could have.
He could not.
Yeah, he could.
No, he couldn't. Stonewall Jackson attempted to do something very similar to exactly what you're talking about. All right, when he came from the Shenandoah campaign and the first day of battle, the first day that he arrived on the Peninsula campaign, and he was soundly mauled and beaten to the point where he freaking was sleeping in his food.
So what? The battle would have happened, and
he would not have been able to take those hills. This is the whole point I keep talking about. You guys keep talking about, oh, he'd have been able to take those hills. No, he wouldn't have. He'd have been destroyed on those hills. There was nothing preventing the Union forces at that point from flanking him immediately as he tried to come up. The North
they have the high ground. They have.
What do you mean they had the high ground?
If they're taking the hills and their situation,
they had to get the Union was on the hills. They had to take the hills away from the Union first before they were quote unquote on the high ground. The Union was already there.
How many people were there? 20?
There were 30? There were freaking there was two entire corps that they hadn't seen.
That's fair then.
Coughlin started repositioning up there. He would have taken his division into two freaking Union corps and been mauled.
Okay, but you asked me, what do I want more? Do I want
let's see your beer.
The fucking march into oblivion, or do I want a fucking takedown of the hill? And brother-in-law, go fuck yourself. Anyway, Um,
Why are
you know
beating up
what?
your brother-in-law?
Like, what do I really want? What I would want would be the Confederacy would have taken the hills,
Yeah.
and
So
at that point,
it's wish in one hand and shit in the other again, and somehow miraculously fairy dust pops up and you frickin' win the battle.
you sound like my 13-year-old son. Like, fuck off. Like,
What do you mean? I sound like if your 13-year-old son is this smart and telling you to do this kind of crap, then maybe you should start listening to him more often. But no, everyone goes, well, if they could have only taken those hills. Okay, that's a if. The problem is how. You act like the Union forces didn't exist, that they weren't there, that they weren't on the ridge, that they didn't already have that. Now, they hadn't extended their lines fully out to Culp's Hill. That's very true, right? And at that point in time, it would have turned into a gun battle. The problem is that the South, if that battle would have started up still at that point in time, what would have happened is and this is what you everyone keeps ignoring. If that would have been attempted by him, he would have been by Jackson with the way the forces were aligned at the battle. Okay, it would have, number one, his forces would have either gone in piecemeal, or two, he would have had to wait until late in the night to try and launch that attack. And if he would have waited late into the night when he launched that attack, he would have just been absolutely mauled. He'd have been absolutely destroyed right then and there. And the South didn't have any kind of forces to prevent him from being freaking destroyed in detail, because they weren't aligned that way. They didn't have the ability to do this. This idea that somehow that they could have taken Culp's Hill and this would have changed things totally ignores the fact of the alignment at that time of the Union forces. The only reason that they even make any headway the second day of battle is due to Dan Sickles. This is something that gets totally ignored. Right? If it wasn't for the fact that Dan Sickles had basically totally uncovered the left, at which point all the reserves that Meade had already built up at the center of that thing then had to be used on the left side of their lines. All right, weakening the right, it wouldn't even have, and it would have been an absolute slaughter. This is what I'm trying to say. If you're going to play what-if games, and I can play what-if games all day long, but if you're going to take a look at the situation as it actually existed at the time people were ordering this to take place, I'm telling you right now that Jackson probably, if he didn't die in Chancellorsville, sure as hell would have died in that one. Right then and there.
Wow. How would he have died then?
If he'd attacked that hill, if he'd attacked Seminary Ridge, he would have led an attack up a hill and gotten slaughtered like most of them did.
But you got to be fair. When it comes to real life, bullets seem to bounce around people.
There were times that didn't happen, but you saw very fact the fact that he died of a bullet wound pretty much tells you that he wasn't bulletproof.
Ouch, buddy! Ouch. That one hit me hard. Like, damn. But anyway, MC.
I'm not wrong about these issues. Everyone talks about how I would redo this or I would redo that in a lot of these battles. So there's a lot of things you could do differently, all right, with hindsight being 2020.
Absolutely. And what I would do differently is I would shoot every officer I saw. I wouldn't be nice about it. I would give the orders. You see an officer, you blow his brains out.
Okay,
that's it.
What would have been the response from the North?
The same thing. So
okay, and how much more quickly, considering how fast that freaking Jackson was known to ride up
you
to
gotta
all
go
the
back
front.
to Jackson. You're such a jerk, dude.
Okay, it wasn't just Jackson. If you would have had that as an aspect, do you think Jackson would have survived? With his predilection riding up to the front in front of Union troops?
I think Lee would have survived, and that's all.
The only reason Lee would have survived is because every time he attempted to do it, his own troops grabbed him and dragged him to the back.
Dude, isn't that a funny thing? Let's talk about that for a little bit. That is a real fucking thing. So Robert E. Lee would try and lead the troops out front, and his own troops would grab him and yank him back and make him go to the back of the line. Is that good? Is that mutiny? I don't know, MC. You tell me.
They did it a number of times and on both sides, actually. Although it's more well known from Lee's standpoint for the number that actually happened with Lee. But it actually happened to Grant before as well. And it actually happened a lot to Longstreet. Longstreet was another one who wanted to lead from the front.
Well, isn't that a good thing? When I think of a man, I think, when it comes to a battle, I think somebody that's going to lead from the front.
A general has to be seen by his. It's good that a general is seen by his troops, willing to put himself in the danger's path. All right, but he has to be doing it for a very specific purpose, and it can only be if he's a good general. He'll only do it as a calculated risk at time periods when he's trying to gather information. Okay, no other reason.
Or he's trying to get the men to, bravado. You know what I mean?
No. The only time you're going to do something like that is never going to be in the attack. It'll be in the defense. All right, you don't want them. You won't try to lead them into the attack because you can't. Okay, if you do that, you're going to end up dead. There's very few generals that don't end up dead from that. The most famous general that ever was able to successfully do that, and even then he was wounded badly several times, right, was Alexander the Great. And it got to the point where at one point he jumps forward over a wall, all right, because he's going to be killed on the wall, and his men see him jump forward and actually follow him over the wall. And he is badly wounded in that battle. Badly wounded. Now we're not talking modern battles though.
We're
talking about the ancient type of battle.
Exactly, but I get what you're talking about. When it comes to Alexander the Great, I remember that story. Absolutely. But don't you think Robert E. Lee was kind of the same type of leader? When you look at the Peninsula Campaign, when you look at when he pushed back the Yankees,
once again, you look at it as he pushed them back because he was on the attack and everything was going well, or I mean he was beating them left and right and then beating them in all those small little battles, and he didn't come off better on all those little battles. In fact, he came out actually in most regards worse. If it wasn't for the fact that he was dealing with McClellan, right, he'd have been shattered. His force would have been shattered and would have had to run back to the Richmond freaking defenses, at which point they could have been freaking surrounded.
Wow.
Or would have been ended 2 years earlier.
Well, no. Wow. What I'm hearing is you're saying if it was Grant, then fuck Lee, he would lose.
He would have lost.
Back that up, then.
Okay.
Go ahead.
What happens? What's the first thing that after when the Wilderness Campaign starts? What's the first thing that happens? Lee sits up there and stops it. What does Grant do that no other Union general had ever done?
He doesn't back off and retreat.
Exactly. And what was the response of his troops?
No, but wait a minute, wait a minute, though. Lee's response is
not Lee's response. What was the Union troops
in the goddamn face?
What was the Union troops response?
The Union troops' response was, I'll build a fire and wait.
No, the Union troops' response was they cheered the movement because they finally had somebody that was willing to press the enemy to the conclusion. And at that point we've lost the war. He knew it then. He could not engage with the enemy before the enemy would go back to Washington, and he didn't. He wouldn't follow. It was over.
MC, at that point then we move into the territory of, whose dick is bigger, And that's what we're
It's not a
fighting
matter
about.
of whose dick is bigger. You can do a lot of these things, and you can win, battles, especially when people say this. And
Chancellorsville.
when it comes to
I can
hold on
name
a
a few
second.
more, brother.
Hold on a second. Everyone could. I believe in what Longstreet said was very accurate, which was the best battle the South fought. Right, the best victory that Lee had was Second Manassas. It was not Chancellorsville. Because if Chancellorsville would have happened, if Chancellorsville would have happened under frickin' Grant, all that would have happened is Grant would have repositioned again, and the battle would have continued, and they didn't have the troops. At Chancellorsville, they couldn't follow up that victory in any way, shape, or form. They were not in a position. They were already. The South was already denuded of its ability to resupply effectively.
Well, then you have to wipe them off the fucking field then, because Grant is a piece of shit, and you can't let him sit there.
And the closest anybody came with that was a surprise attack during a landing attack, which Lee never ever attacked an enemy, right, during a landing attack.
Well, you want to go to the West. We can talk about
it's
the
not
West.
just the West. I'm just talking about the difference between Grant and the other officers on the Army of the Potomac.
Grant was a piece of shit.
He wasn't a piece of shit. He did the one thing that had to be. No, he wasn't.
He was a piece of shit politician too, and you know it.
He wasn't a piece of shit. He wasn't a great politician, but he wasn't a piece of shit. You want to sit up there and say that he was a piece of shit just because he's the general that defeated Robert E. Lee. You won't even give the guy any credit or any kind of humanity. You try and turn him into a 2D freaking caricature, all right, just to justify your petty little freaking attitude about being from the South and the South losing the war. How freaking insane is that, dude? Grow the hell up.
Okay, fair enough. That was a big rant. Anyway,
you think I'm going to tolerate these kind of nonsense from you? It's like SJW nonsense.
Oh, come on now. That was low. Cut it out, MC.
What's your attitude based on? Facts of the war or feelings?
Facts of the war. Did you see his fucking presidency?
Facts of the war. Did you see? And I did see his.
Oh yeah.
He was such a shit politician. How come he got reelected?
Because people are stupid. I mean, really? Why do you think Hillary Clinton almost got elected? Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
There's a difference between getting elected and getting reelected.
Fair enough. I'll grant that. Is he an idiot? Yeah, he is an idiot. Okay. Am I biased
so
in my
what
assessment?
You're saying is that an idiot beat Robert E. Lee. Isn't that what you just said?
That's a fair point. I'm laughing my ass off. You have a good point there. No.
Wait a minute. Either he's an idiot or he's not an idiot. Which one is it? You're saying Robert Lee was such a horrible general, an idiot could beat him.
Well, now I'm changing my opinion.
Now you're changing your opinion?
God damn it. Oh my god. I haven't checked out the chat in a while. I should probably do that. God damn it. Okay. How about we just leave Robert E. Lee alone and we drop it?
Okay.
We're good. We're even, man.
What you wanted to talk about is basically the Shenandoah campaign, right?
Oh, you know what? Today's actual fucking topic was supposed to be was the Shenandoah campaign. It was Jackson. It was, Sheridan. So
Sheridan wasn't there.
Not yet. He was there in 64. Come on now. Well, they don't know that. Will you shut up? God damn it.
Oh goodness!
Dude, I don't get away with anything around here.
Well, not if I'm. You're the one who said, "Hey, you dumbass, you screwed this up. Get in the stream."
Well, you were late. Like,
I-
seriously late.
I was late because you were late. I was there on time initially.
Oh, don't give me that shit.
What
Like,
do you don't give me that shit? This was supposed to start at 3. Where was I at 3?
Unholy Mole says make a baseball team. Yeah, dude. Are you gonna be the closing pitcher? I'm down for that. Like, hit me up.
Oh, so you're saying you want to be the catcher, huh?
I'm not the catcher, brother-in-law. Shut the fuck up.
What is it? What is this catcher team? What's going on there?
You know
What do you do?
baseball.
I do know what baseball is. I do know the positions. I'm not a baseball enthusiast like you.
Aficionado.
I don't know as much about baseball as you do, I'm sure.
Well, baseball's a good sport. But now, if anybody wants to join, come on in. I'm gonna be right back. I have to step away for a second.
You're going to step away. Oh, so he's going to cede the floor to me. So he wants to talk about the Shenandoah campaign, and he immediately sits up there and runs off and starts talking about Sheridan. But Sheridan wasn't even a part of the Shenandoah campaign.
Sheridan was a prick, and you know it. Like, fuck you. He was a goddamn asshole, and you know it.
Yeah, and what was Gordon? What was Early? What was Jubal Early like? You want to talk about people being pricks? All right, let's talk about one of your freaking biggest heroes that you constantly keep using, right? All right, Mr. Stonewall Jackson.
All right, yeah. Go
let's
ahead.
talk about this little freaking episode where Stonewall Jackson, in one of the battles, and I believe it was the Battle of Second Manassas, right? During the battle, he asked, "Where is Lieutenant so and so?" And they had to inform him that Lieutenant so and so, who was one of his runners, basically delivering orders to the other parts of the line, had been killed in battle.
Yeah, he was fucking dead.
Response was very commendable, and went busy whittling on his peach that he was eating. All right, you want to talk about somebody that was an asshole?
Well, dude, he was cool. Come on now. Like, that's
cool.
all right.
Yeah, very commendable. Next, send me another lieutenant.
But no, I knew that's what you were going to say when you were like, whatever. I'm like, oh my god, the fucker died, didn't he? Like, god damn. Like, but okay.
Very commendable.
Yeah, I'll defend that. That's fine. Well, no, Jackson. No, give me a break, though.
With the dead are piled up like cordwood.
No, but Jackson wouldn't blink, right? He would just stand there, stone still, like a stone wall.
Unless of course he was on a horse, in which case he had to have his freaking right arm or left arm in the air to make sure that he stayed balanced, because he was such a freaking nut job. Oh, by the way, don't give him any pepper because he felt that it would give him palsy.
God damn it. I hate you, MC. I really do. God damn it.
You want to start maligning people's character that has nothing to do with the battles they fought? Well, I can do that too.
But come on, dude.
What do you mean, come on? I lie about any of those anecdotes that they basically just relayed.
No, you've been truthful the whole time. But come on. I mean, Stonewall, he's a pimp. Leave him alone, dude. Come on now. Be nice.
Yeah, I'll give him a Chancellorsville massage from the South.
A Chancellorsville massage. Okay. So you're going to get your ass whooped again?
Yeah. What was the massage they gave him?
Yeah, he might have died, but we won the battle, bitch.
Yeah.
Like,
And who shot him?
our
His own
people.
troops. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Might had something to do with the fact that very commendable. Very commendable.
Yeah. Fuck you, dude. Like, I even looked down at my desk. I'm like, my own people. Like, damn it. You win that one. You win. All right. God damn it.
Well, I can be harsh. There's no doubt about it that I can be harsh. You think that I haven't been harsh? I'm actually getting ready to unload on 40.
Ooh, what are you gonna attack him over?
His little frickin', two-faced little both sides are bad commentary on Alex
like
Jones.
the 1984 type shit. The Alex
No, the
Jones.
1984 stuff is fine, but his Alex Jones commentary where he plays that little frickin' little whiner who said Dusty's been banned off of Twitter. This is so unfair. You guys are claiming that you're for free speech, but have you come to the defense of Dusty? And sit up there and try and conflate that to say, okay, that's the same thing that happened to Alex Jones. No, it wasn't. Alex Jones was mass deplatformed, all right, across multiple platforms. Did that happen to Dusty? No, it didn't. Did he get banned from Twitter? Yeah. Is it wrong for him to get banned from Twitter? Yeah, we've been saying that for how many years now?
Yeah, no, it'd be like me being attacked. Yeah, absolutely.
But to sit up there and bring up that this is an example of it happening to the left, show me where a person on the left gets mass deplatformed anywhere. Not just deplatformed on YouTube once or on Twitter later on or something like that, but across the board, all within a 24-hour period. Show me where that's happened. And then come back and try and tell me, oh, but it's happening to the left too. No, it's not. The worst you could sit up there and say, if you were going to say something, is that, yeah, the left will ban some of their own people, all right, generally for cause. But what they won't do is they won't ban their big people off of those platforms, not come hell or high water. For crying out loud, Alex Jones had millions of followers, not just 100,000, not just 15 or 20,000 like Dusty did.
Well, no, exactly. Like if you want to fucking create yourself as a image that needs to be fucking attacked, then you get what you get going.
Now I will admit this, that I wasn't a fan of I'm not a fan of InfoWars. I don't watch InfoWars. I wasn't subscribed to I think I watched them one time, and it said, this isn't my cup of tea. I just don't. This style is not something that I enjoy watching. All right, so I didn't even bother subscribing after I looked into it at all. All right, and I'm not an Alex Jones, aficionado or even really a fan of his. Okay, that kind of rhetoric and that kind of style can be funny at times. All right, I mean, but at the same time, a lot of the things that he would go into were just total nonsense. Right. He would elicit facts that other people weren't bringing up. That's very true. And that part of him and his style that I did like. I didn't like his twist on things. Just like I don't necessarily like the twist on other people's when they bring up a point and they say, well, it means X, Y, or Z. All right. Because my analysis, I generally will trust my own analysis over I'll trust anybody else's when I'm looking at these things and I'm looking at a series of facts to see how they line up. It's one of the main reasons why I disagree with a lot of what Styx says. It's not that Styx's conclusions necessarily are wrong. It's that a lot of the things that he comes, and although some of them are, all right, but a lot of what he says, all right, on the surface seems to be okay. But if you really look at it in detail, it doesn't give you a good view, in my opinion, of what's really actually happening.
Well, no, what you're talking about is the method may be right, but the motivation behind it isn't. And the fact that, just because I agree with the outcome doesn't mean I agree with the law. And that's another thing though. Um, you are out there with your opinion. You do yell it from, you know, the third story of the fucking hotel. But you're not out there with your opinion when it's just you by yourself. Like, I may challenge you, but where are you fucking just yelling at the world like the guy on the street corner?
Well, I think my rant against moderates was close to that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. You win that one. All right.
But that was
Yep.
that was done intentionally just to try a different format. Actually, to be honest, I've been thinking about changing my channel to a slightly different format into something akin to like a strange amalgamation, if I could figure out how to do it, between myself and Sam Kinison reading the news. I'd like to approach it from that standpoint, but
that would be interesting, just to say the least. Yeah.
Right. And you can look up Sam Kinison for anybody who's watching this to see what he was like. But I would like to do it in more of a humorous type of an environment, although the humor would be kind of like rage humor more than anything else, which is, you could say that that's a similar style to Alex Jones. All right. In a certain, if you're looking at it from a certain perspective, but I wouldn't be screaming things like, let's turn in the frogs gay, Sandy Hook never happened. They were just laying the bodies out there. Unless you have pictures of them actually, right, putting dead children out there to take pictures of, all right, and claiming that something like that didn't happen. All right, I mean, that's beyond the pale. Right. The fact is, when you deal with there's certain subjects that people should remain to be more sensitive to. And when you're talking about the death of a loved one, and I don't care on whose side it is either. Right. When you're talking about the death of a loved one, people, while they don't have to necessarily have be respectful, right? That doesn't mean that they shouldn't be. There's no law that says you're not breaking a law, but that doesn't mean you're not being a total freaking dick and you're outside of societal norm.
MC, you're absolutely right, dude. It's like one of my kids came at me with, we don't care about this dog that died on the side of the road or something weird. You know what I mean? Like, no. They care because we're human, and I taught them to be human. Like, they're not the AI bots, all right? Like,
it's bad enough when you go into battle and people become a nerd to seeing death, all right, and carnage. And this is one of the things about the Civil War that people tend to forget. What these people were witnessing in these battles, what they were getting used to in seeing these battles, were human beings being treated like cordwood because they had to be, because of the way the situation existed at the time. All right, but that's not a good necessary thing for as human beings. All right, when they talk about that kind of stuff, they have to turn that portion of your humanity off.
no, and I absolutely think you're right. When it comes to the war, there was a lot of bad shit that happened on both sides. I will agree with you on that.
Well, it's not just the Civil War, on all wars. All wars are like that. But.
Absolutely. Okay, I think we're gonna wrap her up right here. We've hit about the hour and a half mark. Good night, good luck, and take it easy. We're out of here.
Everybody.